Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Got the Powers of PlayStation PS5 Protagonist to Fight the Villains Part 1. Before we start, please go support Angel Gonzalez 753 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Let the games begin. We find ourselves at Kuoh Academy where we see our brown-haired boy being teased by his friend Gerard. And what do you think? I'm surrounded by beautiful girls in my club and you, Issei, when will you get a girl? Said the boy to his friend. Issei. I don't know, but you can stop bothering me. The whole school knows that you're surrounded by pretty girls, but you know you're tiring with that attitude, said the brown-haired boy, a little tired of his friend's personality. Gerard. Of course, what's happening is that you're jealous because I do have girls near me and you don't, but oh well, classes are over and I'm leaving with my girls. Bye, said the boy, leaving the place with a blue-haired girl and a blonde girl. Issei. You're so pretentious, he said as he left the room to head for the exit, but he's a damn egocentric. I can't believe he has so many girls after him, the brown-haired boy thought as he walked to his house. Now at the Chestnut House. Issei. Son, how good that you arrived, how did it go? The brown-haired girl asked with a smile. Issei. Okay, Mom, I'm going to my room. Talk to me when Dad gets home to eat, said the brown-haired boy calmly. Issei. Sure son, don't worry, said the older brunette watching her son go up to his room. At that moment Issei entered his room, which was not very big, but it stood out because it had a large collection of video games. Issei. Well, let's see if the boys are online, he said, turning on his computer. They're all online, he said, looking at his contacts. Bragonslayer25. Hello guys, how are you? Brinskira1. Hola Ice. WOLFHELLSING753. What's up Issei? BVASTIGMA20. Hello Issei kun, what's up? FALLENANGEL124. What's up friend? BRAGONSLAYER25. Ugh, nothing much, just a boring day at school, how about we play LOL? WOLFHELLSING753. Okay, I ask to be the top. FALLENANGEL124. Hey, I wanted to be that good guy, I ask for the ATC. BVASTIGMA20. Great, I ask to be support. BRINSKIRA1. I am the mid. BRAGONSLAYER25. Well then I'm the jungle. And so Issei and his friends spent their time playing LOL, taking breaks to eat and other things. Meanwhile elsewhere. Location. Berlin, Germany military base. Soldier 1. What a boring day, don't you think? Said one of the soldiers while keeping watch. Soldier 2. I know, but it is our duty. The country's greatest secrets are here, said his partner, scolding him. Soldier 1. But at least they should give us something to distract us, right? He said tiredly. Major. Do you have any complaints, soldier? Said a man with superiority while the soldiers turned pale. Soldier 1. No sir, he said, quite scared. Mayor. That's what I thought, I don't want to hear what I didn't finish because an alarm started ringing, alerting the three of them. Soldier 76. My lord, we are being attacked, said one of the subordinates who came running. Mayor. They are waiting for their positions, quickly, this is not a drill, he said, angry at what was happening while taking a microphone. Attention, everyone, go to your battle places. I don't want to repeat it. Move. Soldier 2. Sir, who is attacking us? Said the boy, looking at his brother who was watching a screen where he could see the soldiers facing what seemed to be strange creatures. Mayor. By Hitler, that's what that is, he said in shock when he saw that his soldiers couldn't do anything against those things. At that moment you could see the soldiers running away from those things, and this one and the others were doing the same, but at that moment a ray of light caught one of the soldiers and began to take him away. Soldier 2. Don't help me, he said while being sucked into the light. Mayor. Hold on soldier, he said while holding him, and the soldiers helped him, but he began to disappear. Soldier 2. I don't want to go, sir, said the boy, but it was useless since he disappeared. A minute of silence for Soldier 2. After that, the news spread like wildfire as all the countries found out and held a meeting at the UN. The USA. But what the hell were those things? The Mexico. We don't know, but it is more than clear that no weapons will do anything to them. The England. He's right, bullets don't do anything. The Germany. And the strangest thing was that as soon as they finished attacking the area they retreated, they didn't take anything except one soldier. The Spain. It's a rare male, and the worst thing is that we don't know if they will attack again. The India he is right that we will do in case of attack. And so everyone present spent their time arguing when the screen they had lit up showing a hooded being. Greetings humans, I am the one who carried out the attack on the Berlin base, said the voice causing astonishment in those present. Germany. Damned wretch, show your face. Neglect everything in its time. I just want to tell you that this is being shown on every portable device, televisions, cell phones, etc. The whole world is witnessing this moment where I inform you that you yourselves created the weapon of your destruction, but not only humans, but also the supernatural beings that have lived hidden among you, said the being, leaving all the humans in shock and the survivors in disbelief for making their existence known. Sirzich. We must hold a meeting with all the factions, this is unheard of, the Retid said angrily. All worlds will have 4 lives. If they lose, everyone will be eradicated, but if they win, they will live. They have already lost 1 life, they have 3 left, but remember, nothing they have can harm us, neither weapons nor magic, only we can harm ourselves. Let the game begin. After that the transmission was cut off, leaving everyone in a state of alert and fear, because it seemed that the end had come, but a brown-haired man observed something that very few noticed during the attack in Germany. FALLENANGEL 124. Guys, did you see what just happened? BVASTIGMA 20. Yes, I am very scared. BRINSKIRA 1. Guys, this is the end. WOLFHELLSING 753. I don't know, but we have to be ready. BRAGONSLAYER 25. Guys, did you see the attack on Germany? Yes, I see, but don't you see that what's more worrying is what's happening with our end? BRAGONSLAYER 25. No, what happens is that those things that attacked are creatures from Fallout. FALLENANGEL 124. What is shown in the image? BRAGONSLAYER 25 uploaded an image. FALLENANGEL 124. It's true, it's them. BRINSKIRA 1. But since they're from a video game. BRAGONSLAYER 25. I don't know, but look here, in this image you can see one of the weapons from the game. BRAGONSLAYER 25 uploaded an image. WOLFHELLSING 753. If it's the fat man or Gordon. BVASTIGMA 20. It doesn't make any sense, video games are attacking us. BRAGONSLAYER 25. I don't know, but they gave us the weapons, but they didn't know how to use them, so to survive a gamer must fight. The classic returns. Several days have passed since the terrifying message from the unknown being that has put both the human and supernatural worlds in check, and both have reached a single conclusion. Location: Underworld. In the Underworld, a meeting between the leaders of each faction was taking place. Michael. If what that man has said, we must be alert, we do not know when he could attack, said the Sky Overlord. Isaka. He's right, but we have a problem, said the Yokai leader, distressed. Zeus. And it is the fact that that bastard revealed our existence to the human world, no, said a very angry Zeus. Odin. That was a very low move on his part, said the father of all, rubbing his chin. Azazel. Maybe Odin, but for him it was brilliant, the black-haired man said seriously. Anubis. What do you mean, Azazel? Asked the Egyptian dog. Azazel. It is very easy to reveal that it causes fear and doubt in humans when they think that they have been deceived by us, and for the supernatural it causes intrigue when they do not know how humans will act in the face of our existence, the Fallen One explained, leaving everyone thoughtful. Seraphol. That doesn't matter for the moment, we must find a way to defeat that thing, said the pigtailed Mau, leaving aside her childish attitude. Sirzich. She's right, and if we want to find that way as quickly as possible, we must make an alliance with the humans, said the Retid, leaving the other leaders in shock. Location: United Nations Building, UN. The presidents of the world had met again, the reason was very simple. The leaders of the factions asked to meet with them. It should be said that the meeting was televised worldwide. The USA. So it was true, the supernatural is real, said the leader of USA with a serious look, looking at the leaders. Sirzich. That's right, sir, but the reason for the meeting is not to talk about our existence, but to form an alliance to defeat that bastard, said the Retid seriously. D. Spain. And why should we trust you if you remained hidden all this time, and if he had not appeared you would still be anonymous, said the man in a neutral manner. Anubis. Look, human, if we didn't reveal anything it was because we felt like it, and if you don't want this alliance, perfect, we won't make it, said the dog, quite angry. Isaka. Anubis, please calm down. Look, if we kept our existence a secret, it was for security reasons, said the yokai trying to calm the atmosphere. The Mexico. Well, you have your reasons and it is valid now. Given the situation, the best thing would be the alliance to be able to have a chance against that thing. We only have 3 more opportunities, we must not waste them, said the Mexican, making everyone see reason. The Japan. He is right, but we must hurry, we do not know when the second attack will take place, said the man calmly. After that, time passed where they discussed to reach an agreement satisfactory to both parties and concluding with a successful alliance. Days passed when something happened. Location: Sky. Gabriel. These days have been quite chaotic, but thanks to Dad everything went well and people's faith has been increasing, said the most beautiful angel in heaven, happy about what happened but tired. Griselda. My lady seems tired because she doesn't take a break, she said one of her letters with concern for her mistress. Gabriel. Yes, I think you're right, I didn't continue because a light began to suck her in. Griselda. My lady knew. The girl screamed helplessly for not being able to do anything. I must notify Mr. Michael. She said, going to see the overlord. Location: Kuoh, Japan. Outside the academy. Riaz. I'm glad that the raiding game against Astaroth went well, the Redeed said happily. Asia. Yes, I am very happy, said the happy ex-nun. The Keno. Although Bachu doesn't think that Gerard did nothing but get in the way, said the black-haired girl thoughtfully. Zenobia. Akeno is right, in the last fights he behaves very arrogant and conceited and only gets in the way, said the blue-haired girl seriously. Riaz. Maybe it would be best to talk to him because I have to admit his attitude is getting a little tiring, said the Redeed heavily. Irina. Hi girls, what are you doing? Said the happy brunette. Riaz. We weren't going home long, said the Redeed calmly. Irina. Then I'll accompany you. I don't continue because the same thing happened with Gabriel. Zenovia Irina, the blue-haired girl said, hitting the ground in fury because she did nothing for her friend while the others were in shock. Those 2 disappearances shook the world because a very important person from heaven had been kidnapped, as well as the daughter of one of the most important businessmen in the world. Note: I made this up for Irina because saying that only one girl was kidnapped did not attract much attention, and so a couple of days passed until the television stations and portable devices went through the same thing as the other day. Greetings, as you may already know, 2 people were kidnapped, 1 from each world. This is your next challenge, you must rescue them, otherwise the same thing will happen as with the soldier. You have 1 hour in this place, good luck, you will need it. Said the hooded man seriously, showing the image of the place. But Issei. Those are the mountains outside of Kuoh, I have to hurry, if it's against video games, maybe I'll have a chance to save Irina, he said, leaving the place in the direction of the challenge, but was also discovered by another boy. In the occult club. Gerard. That's outside of Kuoh, he said, drawing everyone's attention. Riaz. Are you sure? She said doubtfully. Gerard. If it is, follow me and tell Surzich, the boy ordered. So Riaz did what he said, and the Redeed notified the entire alliance. This caused a newscast to send a helicopter to broadcast what had happened. At the meeting place. Issei. This is it, but those beams seem familiar to me. Boo, he didn't continue because a voice stopped him. Gerard. What the hell are you doing here? He said angrily. Issei. I should ask, he said as if nothing happened. Gerard. Yes, I can be here because they and I, pointing to the Grimoire, are supernatural beings, and I have come to save Irina and that Hexy angel, and when I do she will be at my feet, he said with pride. Issei. What great pride you carry, he said as if nothing. Gerard. Shut up, I am someone important and not like you, loser, he said climbing onto the beam, but it began to move because of a strange creature. Issei. Damn, now I know why Donkey Kong looked familiar to me, he said looking at the abyss just like the girls looking at a big gorilla. Reporter. We just arrived at the battle zone where we can see some red beams next to what appears to be a giant gorilla and a group of young people. I can't believe they were the ones who came. I think our second life is over, she said heavily. Back with Issei. Riaz. You know him, said the girl looking at Issei. Issei. Yes, it's a video game from 1981, he said without stopping looking at the gorilla. Zenobia. And how do we defeat him? She said seriously. Issei. Very easy, what you have. I didn't continue because Gerard interrupted him. Gerard. I don't care, the great Red Emperor will defeat him, he said, invoking the balance breaker. Reporter. Wait, one of the boys is a supernatural being, maybe we have a chance, she said more excitedly. But at that moment a blue barrel appeared next to Gerard and the gorilla threw a blue barrel. Issei. Or not, the game started, he said seriously. And as soon as I said that, the gorilla started throwing barrels through the rafters. This is how the second game began, and unfortunately for Gerard, a barrel hit him and Donkey spoke. Donkey? One life less, he said with a terrifying voice. Riaz? What did he mean by that? She said, distressed. Issei. In the game we have 3 lives before losing. If a barrel or fireball hits you, you lose, he said seriously. Gerard. I don't care, I will win, and that woman will be mine, he said angrily. But it was all for nothing because he lost again. Donkey. 1 life less, he said with the same terrifying voice. Reporter. I think we are about to lose, she said sadly. Issei. Quickly Riaz, tell him to get out of there, he said desperately. Riaz. Okay Gerard, as your mistress, I order you to get out of there, she said seriously. Gerard Piro, but you. Riaz. But nothing, we are against the ropes because of you, she said angrily. Well, the boy did what Riaz ordered him to do. Reporter. Wait a second, the boy just got off and someone else has taken his place. At the Chestnut residence. Dxd Hijuo. Return. Issei, this was easier on the Nintendo, he said while the gorilla started with the barrels. And against all odds, the brown-haired boy began to avoid the barrels by jumping on top of them and taking a hammer to hit them. Reporter. It's incredible, the second boy is climbing to the top with determination and great courage. Issei. Damn, it wouldn't be so complicated if I had 3 lives, he said a little tired, reaching the top. And at that moment Issei took a hammer and stared at the gorilla. Issei. I waited a long time to defeat you with my own hands, he said, throwing the hammer and throwing it at the gorilla. At that moment a voice was heard. You win. Let's join the team. We found ourselves on the outskirts of Kuoh, where our chestnut tree had just delivered the first victory for the land. Reporter. This is incredible, this guy just gave us our first victory, she said euphorically looking at the camera. In the underworld. Surzich. Well done, said in a room with the other mouse. In the sky. Michael. Thank you, you saved my sister, said the blonde with great relief. At the Haidu residence. PIC. My son just saved humanity, said shedding tears in I'm style. MIC. I can't believe what he did, she said hugging her husband. Just as in these places everyone celebrated the victory achieved by the chestnut tree. Back to the place. The battle stage disappeared as I brought Issei down along with Irina and Gabriel. Irina. Issei, thank you very much for saving us, said the brunette while hugging the brown-haired boy. Gabriel. Young man, I am very grateful for having come to save us, said the most beautiful angel in heaven while bowing. Issei. Miss Irina, you don't have to thank me, this is a battle that unites us all, said the brown-haired boy with a smile. Gerard. You're a bastard, that's why you told Butchu to put me down so you could keep everything, said the boy holding Issei by the neck. Riaz. Gerard, stop it, Issei, all he did was save us all, said the redeed, angry at her pawn's attitude. Hey, let it go right now, said a man in a serious tone. Reporter. Who had already gotten off the plane with her cameraman. Excuse me, but who are you? She said, looking at the man. Colonel Winston of the Japanese military forces, said the man with an imposing voice. Reporter. What brought you here, Colonel? Said the woman approaching with the microphone. Winston. I came because the military forces of each country must be mobilized in case of an attack, but we did not take into account that a group of young people would find the place, he said seriously, looking at all the boys. Reporter. I see, but what will happen now? The woman asked. Winston. Well, first of all, young man, what is your name? The man asks the brown-haired man. Issei. Who had already released himself from Gerard's grip. My name is Issei Haidu, sir, said the brown-haired boy a little intimidated by the colonel. Winston. Young Haidu, the human and supernatural world is in your debt, he said, stretching out his hand which was shaken by the brown-haired boy. Reporter. There you have your name, Issei Haidu, the boy who saved this battle, the girl said, focusing on the brown-haired boy. Everyone was going to continue talking, but a light appeared leaving a kind of pink mola. Riaz. What is that? She said confused. Kaneko. But it will be dangerous, she said, getting into a combat stance. Gerard, whatever it is, I'll take care of it, he said, summoning his booster gear. Winston. Platoon formation, said, so that a group of soldiers will surround the area. At that moment the thing began to move and stood up, alerting everyone, but before anyone could attack, a chestnut tree spoke. Issei. Wait, said to everyone. Winston. Young Haidu, what do you intend, he said with annoyance. Issei. Sir, remember the attack in Germany, said the brown-haired man. Well, the man nodded. Well, they won and they took one of us, now we win, and I think this is what we won, he said, looking at how the creature moved. Bakeno. Are you sure, but what is it, said the black-haired girl doubtfully. Issei. Well, I'm not sure, but I have an idea who it is, isn't it Kirby, said the brown-haired boy, so the little ball would look at him. Kirby. He just looked at him with a super cute face that almost made the girls faint. Winston. Well, if that's the case, I think I should go with you, you earned it, he said calmly. After that, the next day all work was suspended, but for Issei, it was a very hectic day because everyone congratulated him at home and his parents scolded him for the risky nature of the game, but now he went to a meeting with the leaders of the factions and the presidents of the world. Issei. Nice to meet you, said the boy in the center of the room next to his new pink partner. Michael. Nice to meet you, young Haidu, and before anything else I would like to thank you for saving my sister, said the blonde, grateful for the actions of the brown-haired boy. Issei. It was nothing, Mr. Michael, he said with his usual smile. Gyusa. Young Haidu, I would like to know how you knew what you had to do, said the leader of the greatest nation in the world with doubt. Issei. Well, that was because I'm a gamer and one of the games I've played was Donkey Kong, he said while putting a hand on his chin. Isaka. You're saying that what's attacking us are video games, said the Yokai leader with doubts. I see. In fact, the first attack in Germany was one called Fallout, he said, surprising everyone. Germany. Then there was a chance to defeat those things, said the German leader with surprise. Issei. That's right, since the being that is doing this lets us fight on equal terms, but this doesn't mean that anyone can fight against them, the brown-haired boy said seriously. Zeus. And why not, I speak surprised. Issei. Well, it's easy. If the battle were for beginners it would be, but this is a life or death battle. The beings that come attack with everything, they are not going to let you practice before fighting, and if we knew what games they play, we could say that they could train their soldiers, but that is not the case, he said, with a more serious tone than normal. Mexico. In short, only gamers could face the threat that affects us today, said the leader, while the brown-haired boy just nodded. Surzich. Well, if that's the case we should create a group of gamers to help us, said the Reed, while all the presidents and leaders accepted. Issei. I have my team. Buenos Aires, Argentina. Serena. How boring, I still can't believe that Issei faced Donkey, said a blonde girl with a strange hairstyle. Knock knock. Serena. Serena, daughter, could you please answer me? I'm busy, said a blue-haired woman. Serena. I'm coming, mom, if you want it, said the girl opening the door. Winston. Miss, I'm Colonel Winston, and I'm looking for DVASTIGMA20, said the colonel next to the chestnut tree. Serena. This is me, she said a little nervously. Issei. Hello, Serena, I'm Issei, he said with his smile. Serena. Issei, is it really you, she said incredulously. Issei. That's right, and we need your help. Seville, Spain. Knock knock. Palermo. I'm coming if you want, said a young blue-haired man. Winston. Good morning, we are looking for FALLENANGEL 124, said the man, surprising the boy. Palermo. Hey, it's me, how can I help you? He said confused. I see, Serena. Gil, hello, they both said, appearing behind the colonel. Winston. Boy, we need your help. Colorado, USA. Mom, I'm going for a walk, said a purple-haired girl. Okay, Thoka, but don't come back too late, okay, answered a woman. Thoka. Okay, no, she didn't continue because when she opened the door she found a man in the company of some boys that she recognized. I see, Gil, Serena. Hello, Thoka, the three said very happily. Winston. Judging by your reaction, you must be PRINSKIRA1, said the man as if nothing had happened. Thoka. So it is offered to you, said the girl uneasily. Winston. We need your help. London, England. Butler. Excuse me, Mr. Westcott, a man and some young men are looking for young Gustav, said the man, seeing a black-haired man who only made a face of disgust. Gustav. Now what, Gustav, the man shouted angrily while a young black-haired man came down the stairs. Gustav. What do you want, father? He said calmly. Gustav. A man is looking for you, he said annoyed. After that the man and the boys will talk to the man and his wife and another girl present, where Winston explained the situation to them. Gustav. You've been playing such stupid games, he said very angry. Gustav. You are a disgrace because you can't be like your sister, said the woman equally upset while the girl just smiled mockingly. Gustav. You can leave here, he will not be with you now, he will be in his room punished for being with that nonsense. Good morning, said the man pulling the boy to his room. Winston. Sir, he couldn't continue because the television turned on, revealing the hooded man. Hey everyone, it's time for the next fight. Let's play LOL. We meet the team of gamers where the boys could not gather their full team because their friend lied to them since he was a young man from a rich family where he was forbidden to play video games, and the situation has just changed because a new battle has just begun. The new battle will end on the English coasts, he said with a funny voice. Winston. This is fine, we're close, let's go, he said leaving the house. Issei. Looking at the house, we are not a real team without you, he said a little sad. Going by helicopter. Winston. What is that, he said looking at the area. Issei. It's the Summoner's Rift, he said seriously. Bill. Damn, this is wrong, he said with frustration. Winston. What's wrong? He said confused. Serena. That game belongs to League of Legends, she said with fear. Winston. And you don't know how to play, he said with surprise. Okay. That's not the problem, what happens is that it's 5v5 and there are only 4 of us, he said heavily. Winston. Damn, then how are we going to do it, he said angrily. Issei. Don't worry, we can put in a DC, he said seriously looking at his friends. Winston. What is that? He asked confusedly. Issei. That's a term to say that a player is not online. Already at the entrance. Choose your lines and your weapons, he said showing a screen. Issei. First atop is DC, he said while a line on the map turned red. Ill. Issei, what are you doing, he said surprised. Issei. Neither of us can develop well in that position, the best thing would be to develop better in our lines, he said seriously. Okay. Well, I am ADC, he said taking Miss Fortune's pistols. Serena. I'm mid, said the blonde taking the bear from Annie. Ill. I am support, he said taking Blitzcrank's armor. Issei. Then I'm the jungle, he said grabbing Sawani's pet. After that the boys were transferred to their base. Winston. Good luck guys, he said getting into the helicopter. Reporter. We are broadcasting live from the field where a new battle has just begun where our warriors will face this danger, but wait a second, there are only 4, there were supposed to be 5, she said surprised. At Gustav's house. The Gustav. What a stupidity to face video games, that's why it's a disappointment for this family, said the man with displeasure. Gustav. This is surely a stupid little theater to put on a show, he said without interest looking at the television. At the Issei base. Issei. Guys, your spells are already activated, he said seriously. Serena. Yes, flash and ignition, she said hugging the stuffed animal. Okay. Ready, flash and heal, he said, loading his weapons. Ill. Flash and exhaustion, he said while standing on the robot. Issei. Well, I have flash and punishment, he said while climbing up to his new friend. Well, the game starts in 3, 2, 1 now. After what was said, the boys quickly went to their positions and activated an intercom that Winston provided them. Issei. Guys, copy me, he said speaking through the intercom. Okay. Yes, Issei heard you, he said mockingly. Serena. I copy you loud and clear, Issei, she said with a smile. Ill. Me too, Issei, he said a little nervously. Issei. Well then I will take care of the top rival, he said seriously. After that the time passed, to be more specific, 1:15 min. Issei. Here come the minions, he said. Some strange creatures began to appear. After that the rival champions just appeared. One was a plant girl, a metrahexual looking man, a crazy looking girl with blue hair, a humanoid lizard and a man with a giant sword. Bill. Guys, in our line there is the crazy Jinx and the effeminate Tarek, said the boy seriously watching the crazy girl approach. Serena. This guys I have Zyrak, she said looking at the plant woman. Issei. Guys, in the jungle there is Renekton and on top there is Garen, said the brown-haired boy quite worried. After what everyone said, a battle broke out between both sides where, for obvious reasons, the gamers were losing. In England, Gustav's house. In the black-haired boy's room, he was watching television and observing how his friends were humiliated by their rivals. Gustav. Guys, I'm sorry, he said sadly when a song on his cell phone started playing. While the song was playing, moments came to the black-haired man's head. Flashback. Issei. Well done, Gustav, that's how it's done. Serena. How did you know the opponent's strategy? Okay. I don't know how you did it, but it was amazing. Ill. I agree with her. Gustav. Hey guys, don't say that wasn't a big deal. Then flashback. Gustav. It's true, they are my true friends, the only ones who accepted me as I am and never saw me by my last name, he said, shedding a few tears and took his cell phone and called someone. Yes, Gustav, what's going on, said a man with curiosity. Gustav. Hi Eric, I need a favor, do you still have your plane? Back to the battlefield. Issei. Damn, you two are cornering me, I need help, he said, trying to fight Renekton and Garen, along with his minions. Bill. Hold on, we'll be there soon. He couldn't continue because he was hit by a Jinx missile. Okay. No Gil, she said worried about her friend. Serena. Damn, I can't do this, I need help, she said while the woman used the plants to hold the bear back. Reporter. This is horrible, the brutality we are witnessing is indescribable, she said in shock. Mic. My baby, no, she said crying, hugged by her husband. Serena. My little one, please someone save her, she said, being a sea of nerves. So the parents of the others were terrified by what they saw in the battle. Issei. I won't resist much longer, he said, watching the lizard and the man with the sword approach. At that moment an axe hit the one with the sword, sending him flying away. Issei. But what he said looking at where the axe came from, still seeing the black-haired man. Gustav. Sorry for the delay he said with a smile as he started to run and start hitting the lizard. After hitting him with the axe, he helped Issei. Issei. You're an idiot, but I'm glad to see you, he said a little tiredly. Gustav. I know, I'm a sweetheart, he said mockingly, making Issei sweat a drop. Issei. Well, let's finish them off, he said, getting ready for combat. Gustav. It's okay and I know you want to say it, so say it, he said looking at the brown-haired boy. Issei. Hey guys, listen to me, receiving a yes from everyone. Well, Wakanda forever, he said, launching himself into the attack with everything. At that moment Issei began to humiliate the lizard while Gustav finished off Garen. Reporter. This is incredible. At one point, the situation was reversed on one of the roads thanks to a black-haired boy. In the black-haired man's house. Gustav. How did that damn brat escape? He said as he went up to the room. When he went upstairs with his wife and daughter, he found a note on the bed that said, if you want to punish me for helping my friends, then I accept it. Also, go book yourself and your wife and daughter. I don't care about your stupid last name anymore, so don't bother seeing me again. Bye. At. Gustav. Back to the battlefield. Gustav. Issei, I will gank and help Serena, he said entering the jungle towards mid. Issei. Serena, can you hear me? He said through the communicator. Serena. Yes, what's happening, she said with difficulty because of her fight. Issei. Help is on the way, he said with great happiness. After saying that, Gustav appeared from above and landed a strong blow with his axe on Zyrak. Here, just think that the one on the shield is Zyrak. Gustav. Hello Serena, he said with a smile. Serena. Gustav, what are you doing here? Said the blonde in disbelief. Gustav. What's up, Candyhead? He said mockingly. Serena. I already told you not to call me that, she said making a pout. After that a voice was heard. Rival towers have been eliminated, said normally. Gustav. You heard that, Serena, we must hurry, only the link remains, he said seriously. At that moment everyone headed to the Nexus and eventually everyone met there. Bill. Guys, we destroyed the towers and Gustav, he said looking at the black-haired man. Gustav. Gil said returning the gaze. Issei. Guys, that doesn't matter, we must destroy the Nexus, he said seriously. At that moment everyone performed their ultimate to destroy the Nexus, and when that happened the voice said. Victoria. And that's it for today's chapter. I hope you liked it a lot. Remember that comments, suggestions, etc. are welcome. What will happen now that they won and what will their reward be? Well, this and much more in the next chapter. Goodbye. Big changes. We find ourselves in the Summoner's Rift where our group of gamers had just won a game of LoL. Issei. We did it, we won, he said with great joy. Serena. We are invincible, she said jumping with excitement. Thoka. Whether it's strange beings or people on the computer, nobody can beat us in LoL, she said with a smile. Bill. Gustav, how did you get here, he said seriously. Gustav. Well, I asked an old friend for help since I couldn't leave them alone, he said calmly. Issei. Guys, let's put that aside, the important thing is that we won, he said hugging the two. Reporter. We have won, the gamers have prevailed against the video games, giving us a new victory, she said with great joy. So everyone celebrated the boys' victory and a group of people were happy because their children were safe and sound. In England. Gustav. That brat, how dare he tarnish our name, he said angrily, not knowing what was coming. Back to the battlefield. Winston. Guys, congratulations, that was amazing, he said calmly. At that moment, some lights appeared, revealing 4 beings. 3 women and a ball of fur with horns. When the light went out, the women left with the boys and the ball with the purple-haired girl. Serena. Wait, because I don't have anything, she said with a pout. Winston. Miss Tsukino still has the bear and the boys no longer have their weapons, said the man as the girl understood. Serena. It's true and it's okay, I'm happy with him, she said while everyone fell in I'm style. Thoka. I have Poro, she said caressing the ball of fur. Bill. I have a collie and I don't know how I'm going to explain it to mom, he said nervously seeing the black-haired girl with ninja features. Issei. I'm happy I have Ari, said the brown-haired boy happily while the Kyuubi gave him a smile. Gustav. I'm not complaining, I have Sona, he said while a blue-haired girl was next to him. Issei. You know it's weird, I have a senpai at my school called Sona and also among the supernatural beings there is the Yakai faction and their leader is a Kyuubi like Ari, he said while everyone laughed. Winston. Guys, now that you are all together I would like to tell you that you will all have to live together and you have to choose the country, he said seriously while the boys looked at each other. All I see Japan, they said at the same time, surprising Issei. In my country, he said surprised. Serena. If we are talking about the birthplace of anime and silly video games, if we don't take advantage of the opportunity, said the blonde with emotion. Gustav. It's true, besides, I can't go back to that house anymore, so I've said that I'll go to Japan, he said, walking to the helicopter, followed by the blue-haired girl. Issei. Okay, but what will happen to his parents? He said, looking at the rest of his friends who showed surprise. Winston. Don't worry, they will all be transferred to Japan too, he said without flinching. After a few days. Our boys were at a ceremony honoring our heroes. He from Japan. Hello everyone, we are here to celebrate the actions carried out by this team of gamers who risked their lives and fought bravely for our survival, said the Japanese leader proudly. Surzich. It is true that both worlds are indebted to you, and you will always have our support, he said, while the boys received a standing ovation from the attendees. Winston. That's why I want to say hi to Serena Tsukino, Guillermo Martinez, Toki Adagami and Gustav Wesko to step forward. He didn't finish because the black-haired man stopped him. Gustav. I'm sorry, I'm just Gustav, I have nothing to do with that family, he said seriously, while those present understood his annoyance with his family. In England. He Gustav. Yes, who is speaking, he said on his phone. Mr. Westcott would like to break my alliance with your company, said a man in a serious manner. He Gustav. But Mr. Zuckerberg, why do you want to do that? He said nervously. Zuckerberg. Simple, my daughter is a big fan of the gamers who recently fought, and I told her that I knew the father of one and I could make her meet him, but apparently he has it in for you, he said seriously. He Gustav. And that's why our alliance will end, he said in surprise. Zuckerberg. Well, I don't want to see an investigation into the reasons for the boy's anger, and I don't want my name to appear in your alliances, he said, ending the call. He Gustav. I really did wrong, he said thoughtfully. In Japan. Serena. Wow, this is where we're going to live, she said with stars in her eyes, looking at a mansion. Toka. Don't you think it's too much? She said, surprised by the size. Issei. I think so, but Winston said it would be best if we win in the future, and the rewards need a place with us, he said as if nothing happened. Bill. The good thing is that our parents' house is on the same street, he said, looking at his parents' house. Gustav. Well, let's see its interior, said, followed by his new partner. Issei. It is beautiful and has all the comforts, he said, sitting in the living room. Bill. Guys, you have the best gaming consoles and an incredible PC in your rooms, he said excitedly. Gustav. If this is better than my house, he said, sitting on a single sofa. Toka. I'm in love with this house, she said while sitting next to Issei. Serena. Guys, this is the best thing we've ever had. She couldn't continue because the television turned on showing the hooded man. Be ready because the new battle is coming. Next attack. It's Fortnite time. We find ourselves in the gamer's mansion where the mysterious being had just appeared on television. I hope you are ready for your next battle, it will be soon, but I will give you the advantage of choosing the battle mode. You have 24 hours, he said, disappearing from the screen, leaving a map. I see. That's the Fortnite map, he said, shocked to know what his next challenge was. Winston. So we already know what the game is, but what did you mean by the mode? He asked, confused. Toka. It refers to the game mode. From what I see, it is using the map of Season 5, so the modes are those of the Battle Royal, that is, 50 vs 50, squad of 4, duos or solo, said the purple-haired girl with doubts. Serena. 50 v 50 is not an option since I don't think we have 50 people who want to fight, she said heavily. Winston. And what about the squad? He said hopefully. Issei. That's not going to be possible, he said thoughtfully. Winston. Why? He said in surprise. Issei. Easy, Serena doesn't know much about the game, Gil knows how to use weapons, but doesn't know how to build, and Toka is the opposite, she doesn't know how to use weapons, but she knows how to build, he said without flinching, while his companions just nodded. Winston. And what about Gustav? He said while everyone looked at the black-haired man. Gustav. Who me, he said with surprise. Issei. If I remember correctly, you beat Ninja and Lolito in a world tournament, you and I are the only ones who can do it, he said seriously while looking at the black-haired man. Gustav. But it only happened because I shot the ninja with the sniper because he didn't see me, and Lolito was lucky, but I will do it now, I have a reason to save the world, he said with determination, looking at a blue-haired girl who blushed. But the factions and the UN. He Japan. Gentlemen, the gamers are ready to face the battle, he said hopefully. Michael. May luck be with them, he said calmly. Gabriel. Good luck, Issei, I hope everything goes well, he said with concern, putting a hand on his chest. Time for battle. Winston. Okay guys, we leave you on that small island next to the bigger one, he said as the helicopter descended on the island. Issei. Are you ready, friend? He said looking at his partner. Gustav. I'm fine, just a little nervous. I never imagined playing Fortnite in real life, but it's exciting, he said with a smile. At that moment the mysterious being appeared. Tell me which mode you choose for battle, he said without flinching. Issei. Duo, he said without further ado. So be it, they chose their skins, he said, opening a gallery where you could choose a skin, pickaxe and parachute. This is it. Gustav. The game starts in 3, 2, 1 already. At that moment they both disappeared from the island while a floating bus began to pass over the map. It should also be said that all visual devices were focused on the battle. Reporter. We can see several characters rushing in, but there's still no sign of our warriors. I see. Gustav, where we jumped, said looking at a bracelet where his life bar was and the map where you could see where the bus was going. Gustav. Let's go to Caserio Cholesterol, he said looking at the map. Issei. Well now, he said jumping next to the black-haired boy. At that moment the cameras focused on the two of them. Reporter. There they are, he said in amazement. Issei. Ah, this is less intense in the game, he said deploying the parachute. Gustav. Haha, I've never felt so alive, he said deploying the parachute and falling into one house and the chestnut into another. Quickly they both began to dig around, finding chests. Gustav. Yes, legendary scar, he said with emotion. Issei. Loot fast then celebrate, he said mockingly. After a few minutes. Gustav. Issei, what do you have, he said meeting his friend. Issei. A grey submachine gun, a blue grenade launcher, a couple of grenades and a large shield, and you. Gustav. The legendary scar, a first aid kit, 3 mini shields and a large one, he said calmly. Issei. Well now we have to. I didn't continue because Gustav interrupted me. Gustav. Wait, look, I'll give you 2 mini shields and you'll get 100 shields. I'll get 75 shields, but I have the first aid kit, he said, giving him the things and taking the shields. Issei. Wow, the shield doesn't taste so bad, but it's time to go. The circle is beginning to close, he said, starting to move with his partner. Along the way they encountered enemies who killed easily. Gustav. I see, stop, he said, stopping his friend in his tracks. Issei. What's wrong? He said, scared by his friend's sudden call. Gustav. Look, he said looking in one direction so that the brown-haired boy would do the same. Issei. That's it, he said in surprise. Gustav. A pinata, he said excitedly as they both ran towards it. At that they both opened it, filling their loot. Issei. Well, I have 999 wood, 680 stone and 465 metal, as well as a blue submachine gun, a grenade launcher, 3 first aid kits, a pump-action shotgun, and 5 mini shields, he said, while breathing heavily from exhaustion. Gustav. I have 950 wood, 790 stone and 500 metal with my scar, a heavy sniper, a grenade, 3 bandages and 1 shield, he said equally tired. Issei. Well, according to this, in 20 seconds the circle closes on the tilted floors and we have 7 more rivals left, he said while catching his breath. Gustav. Fine, but I see, he said catching his friend's attention. No matter what happens, thank you for being my friend, because that's why I'm living incredible moments that I never imagined, and I owe it all to you, he said with a happy tone. Issei. You don't have to thank me, he said happily, let's finish this and go home, he said decisively. Gustav. I support you, he said equally determined. At that moment Issei finished off 2 but received 3 shots. Issei. Ah damn, they hurt a lot, he said, while Gustav put up a wall to protect him. Gustav. Calm down, I'll take care of it, he said as he started shooting. At that moment 3 opponents died due to the storm, leaving a 2 vs 1. Issei. Go finish him off, he said while continuing to heal. Gustav obeyed by placing himself on top of a house and captured the last one hiding and took out the sniper. Gustav. It's over, he said while shooting, doing a 275 damage headshot so that a sign would then appear. Road to great battles. We are on the Fortnite island where Gustav achieved victory for humanity. Issei. We did it, he said while running and hugging the black-haired boy. Gustav. I can't believe it, he said with a smile and in a state of shock. In Japan. Gamer Mansion. Bill. Those fools did it, they did it, he said happily. Serena. Well done guys, she said jumping with excitement, hugging Thoka and Poor running around them. At the Haidu residence. PIC. Our son did it again, my boy, it makes me proud. He said crying in a Nime style while his wife just smiled and comforted him. In England. Westcott residence. Gustav. Vala won again, he said while watching TV, but he looked sad. Gustav. It's still a shame, said the girl with little interest. Gustav. You are making your way and proving that you were never dependent on us. I was really wrong, the man thought sadly. Back to the battlefield. Lights appeared in front of both boys where 2 girls appeared, one blonde in a blue suit and the other brunette with red eyes. Issei. Wow, I never thought I would have a harem, much less that Samus Aran would be in it, he said excitedly looking at the blonde. Gustav. Seriously, then you thought about having Ari with you before this, he said sarcastically. Issei. Good point, he said sadly. Gustav. Although I like the idea of the harem, I already have Sona and now Tifa Lockhart, he said, while looking at the brunette who just smiled at him. At that moment the helicopter appeared to take them away, and as it rose the island began to disappear. Back at the gamer mansion. The boys with their new companions arrived and were greeted by a Kyuubi and a blue-haired girl, who quickly hugged them and knocked them down, making a blonde and a brunette very jealous. Ari. Issei, I'm glad you're okay. I thought something bad would happen to you, said the Kyuubi with concern in her voice, while the blue-haired girl nodded. Issei. Don't worry, we're done and we're fine, he said as he got up from the ground. Bill. Congratulations friends, you did an excellent job, he said shaking his hands. Gustav. Ha, that was easy, but it was fun. I won't continue because the girls came in very excited. Serena Toka. Chsayus, they said happily. Issei. Girls, calm down, don't shout, he said with a forced smile. Serena. Sorry, the battle was amazing, she said with emotion. Toka. You're right and I see that the rewards were them, she said pointing at Samus and Tifa. Ari. I don't like them, she said with jealousy, while Sona nodded in the same way. Bakali. Girls calm down, don't start, said the ninja scolding her friends. Bill. Thanks here, he said with a smile without showing blush to the ninja. Issei. Guys, it's almost night, let's go to sleep, said the brown-haired boy yawning. The next morning. Gustav. But what, he said with surprise upon seeing Sona and Tifa asleep at his sides. What should I do? What would Grandpa do? He said imagining his grandfather's response. Grandpa. Take advantage of the bug. Gustav. I think your advice wasn't the best, he said whispering so as not to wake up his girls. At that moment a scream was heard from his friend Issei, who was going through the same thing. Gustav. I think I'm not the only one, he said with a drop of sweat and seeing how his girls woke up. Tifa. Good morning, she said getting up and giving the black-haired boy a kiss on the cheek, and a few seconds later Sona did the same. Gustav. Boo, good morning, he said super red with embarrassment. After that in the living room. Our young gamers were talking about different things when a magic circle appeared from which a beautiful angel emerged. Gabriel. Hello everyone, said the angel with a smile. All. Hello Miss Gabriel, they said in unison. Serena. What brings you here? She said while playing with a Nintendo 3DS. Gabriel. I came to visit Issei, he said with great happiness, while two girls got angry at the comment. Issei. And why do you want to see me? He said confused by what the angel said. At that moment he was pulled into the kitchen by his friends. Bill. Issei, you're such an idiot, he said, shaking the brown-haired boy. Issei. What are you talking about? He said extremely confused. Gustav. Come on, Issei, a very beautiful girl comes to see you, and not only that, you saved her from great danger, tell me why you think she came, he said seriously. Issei. Let's give thanks, he said innocently. Gustav. If he is an idiot, he said giving him a slap on the head. Bill. Issei most likely likes you, he said calmly. Issei. You think, he said with doubt. Gustav Gill. Yes, they both shouted in unison. At that moment the girls' screams became present, alarming the boys. Bill. What's wrong? He said as he ran to the living room with the boys. Bakali. Look, pointing to the TV where the hooded man was. I hope you are ready because in war there is no time to rest. Issei. Damn, he said with frustration. This will take place between 3 different places, 2 on Earth and 1 in Hell. In the underworld. Sirzich. It can't be here, he said nervously. Serafal. We must trust the boys, she said a little scared. Ajuka. She's right, they proved to be quite good, said the green-haired boy hopefully. Back to the mansion. Issei. How are we going to go? He said with concern. Gabriel. Don't worry, I'll help them, he said with his typical smile. These will be your opponents. Good luck. Fights. The human and supernatural world were in shock because the next fight would take place in 3 different places, and one of them would be hell itself. Issei. Oh, I didn't know the invaders were faggots, he said mockingly. Gabriel. Why do you say that? Said the confused Seraph. Serena. Well, Miss Gabriella, in the world of video games, one of the first iconic phrases came from the video game to which the blonde man belongs, said the blonde calmly. Gabriel. So what is the phrase? Said the woman with intrigue. Gamers buck whoever uses Rugel, said the 5 pointing at the blonde. Gabriel. I see, he said, half understanding. At that moment Winston came running in. Winston. Guys, a dojo has appeared in the south of Osaka and a strange ship on the Mediterranean coast, the man said nervously. Gabriel. Who had a communication circle in his ear? Guys, a strange arena in the city of Lilith, he said in amazement. Issei. Well then, how are we going to do this? I want Shao Kahn, he said looking at his friends. Gustav. Leave me the damn bison, he said cracking his knuckles. Bill. I'm going, booking Rugel, he said with a smile. Serena. Guys are safe, she said worried. Thoka. You guys, pointing at Issei and Gustav, just finished battling in Fortnite, she said sadly for not being much help. Issei. Don't worry, the time will come when they will go into action, so don't be sad and please take care of the girls, he said, looking at both of them who just nodded. Winston. Well, we have to go, there are 2 helicopters, one will go to the coast and the other to Osaka, he said looking at the boys. Gabriel. And I will take the other to the underworld, he said, creating a magic circle. So the 3 of them left. Gil for the Mediterranean coast, Gustav for Osaka and Issei for the underworld. The first to arrive was Gustav, who was looking at a kind of dojo with a man in a red suit who was floating. Gustav, Mr. Bison. On the Mediterranean coast, the helicopter descended to the ship so that the boy could get off, and after walking around the ship, he found a blond man with a big smile. Bill Rugel. In hell, our chestnut arrived at the outskirts of Lilith, seeing the sand and upon arriving, seeing a man with a skull helmet. I see Shao Kahn. At that moment, in all 3 scenarios, the rivals were on guard. Then Osaka. Gustav. Let's start, he said standing in front and selecting his character. Choose Ryu, he said taking a battle pose. After that the battle began with Bison launching energy attacks with his arms while Gustav dodged them. Gustav. This got interesting, he couldn't continue because Bison threw him into the air. Gustav. Don't think so much, he said approaching Bison and starting to give him a series of blows. Gustav. It doesn't end here, it's time for his bags Buchan, he said, starting to spin with one leg raised and causing great damage to the Bison. After her attacks, Bison was launched, crashing into a wall. Gustav. Don't let him counterattack, the black-haired man thought, but couldn't react to Bison, who was shot out in a blanket of energy. At that moment the one who was thrown out was Gustav, who, upon getting up, could not help but spit out blood. Gustav. Bad damn that hurt, he said looking at his arm where a bracelet appeared showing his and Bison's life bar, seeing how his was at 40% and Bison's was at 65%. At that moment Bison repeated his attack, but it was dodged by Gustav, who jumped in time but saw how Bison stood up after finishing his attack and lowered his guard. Gustav. I got it, come on Bison, attack with everything, said the boy with determination, while Bison did the same. At that moment it could be seen how the boy covered himself, resisting the attack, receiving minimal damage, and at that moment Bison finished his attack. Gustav. Now Shoryuken, said the boy connecting a strong upward blow that sent Bison flying. At that moment the black-haired man realized that Bison's life was at 25%. Gustav. All or nothing Hadouken, the boy shouted while a lot of energy came out of his hands because it hit Bison, lowering his life to 0. Gustav. It's over guys, the rest is yours, falling to the ground unconscious. On the ship. Bill. He chose Iori, said the boy, while his hands were covered in purple flames. At that moment, both began an exchange of blows where neither of them seemed to give in until Rugel launched an attack that directly hit Gil. Bill. Puig, the boy exclaimed as a trickle of blood came out of his mouth. But before reacting, Rugel connected a series of merciless blows. Bill. This is wrong, I have to turn it around somehow, he said, looking at the same bracelet that Gustav had, only here you could see that his energy bar was at 35% and Rugel's at 75%. At that moment Rugel tried to land another blow on Gil, which he barely managed to dodge. Bill. Now, he said, connecting a series of blows taking advantage of Rugel's carelessness. Just imagine that Kuoh is Rugel. After that Rugel's life was at 45%. Bill. This is not over, it is my revenge for all the money I spent trying to beat you, he said, connecting a near deadly combo to Rugel that left him at 10%. Just imagine that Joe is Rugel. Bill. And I'm not done, I'll finish you off to protect my mother and Akali, he said, connecting the final blows that finished off Rugel. I don't need to repeat it. Bill. I did it, I won, he said, falling on his back, super exhausted. In the underworld. Issei. I chose Sub-Zero, he said while feeling a chill run through his body. But before the fight began, a fool in red armor threw himself at Shao Kahn. Gerard. This is your end because I, the great Sekiryu, will defeat you, he said, launching a dragon shot that did little to Kahn. At that moment Issei entered the arena and held Gerard. Issei. What the hell are you doing, he shouted, very angry. Gerard. It's not so funny when someone else takes the glory, is it? Issei. You can't defeat him, he'll just kill you, he said without lowering his anger. At that moment Issei pushed Gerard aside and positioned himself in front of Shao Kahn, but he stopped and the hooded man appeared. They have lost, he said, leaving everyone in shock. Issei. Because he said in shock. Changing combatants is illegal, so they lose, he said without further ado. Issei. No wait, I accepted the challenge, not him, he said, trying to remedy the situation. He was the first to launch the attack, so they lose, but we won't take anyone since the other bosses lost, but they only have 2 lives left, he said, disappearing. Issei no kursi. Pain. Silence was all there was in neither the natural nor the supernatural world. Not a single word could be articulated because they had lost their second life. In the underworld. The silence that had formed after the defeat was broken by drops of rain that began to fall. Issei. We lost, he said with his eyes on the ground, shedding tears. Gerard. This is your fault, I would have defeated him without any problems, but he didn't continue because a voice stopped him. Greg. Could you shut up? You're the only one to blame, you damn brat. I can't believe I got an incompetent like you as my carrier. Said the dragon in the booster gear from the boy's left arm. Gerard. Drake, what are you saying? He didn't finish because the dragon silenced him again. Greg. We don't understand anything, damn it, the only way to beat them is through their game, not doing the stupid things you do, said the dragon, quite annoyed. Before the idiot could continue speaking, several magic circles appeared. Surzich. You are such a big idiot, he said, looking angrily at the current Securite. Gerard. Surzich, what? I didn't continue because I received a strong slap from a redeed. Riaz. What the hell is wrong with you? Said the redeed with fury in her voice. Gerard. Look, I could have defeated him, but he got in the way, he said angrily. Issei. You could have defeated him, he said furiously, running towards him and starting to hit him hard in the face. Thus the brown-haired man landed about 15 blows to Gerard's face, drawing blood from his nose, but was stopped by Azazel, who pulled him away from the other. Gerard. Now you'll see, he said, running towards him, but was stopped by a black-haired man. Sererg. Enough, Securite. Not only did you cause the loss of our second life, but now you're putting on a show trying to minimize your mistakes, said the black-haired man in a serious manner. 3 days later. Location. New York, USA, UN headquarters. At the UN, all the leaders of the natural and supernatural world were discussing. The Venezuela. How do you explain this, Lucifer? We just lost because of your sister's servant, the Venezuelan spoke seriously. Surzich. I know, and on behalf of all the demons and myself, I offer an apology for the actions carried out by my sister's pawn, said the redeed with regret in his voice. The Iceland. Yes, sorry, but why don't we analyze things? Michael. What does this mean? Said the angel doubtfully. The Iceland. Easy, the squad of gamers is made up of pure humans and not any supernatural, he said seriously. Zeus. What are you trying to get at with this? He said a little annoyed. The China. It's easy, our people are breaking their backs to save you, and I don't see them contributing much. The Sokka. The funds for the construction of the house for the children and their parents were paid for by supernatural beings, if I remember correctly. This is the annoying Yakai speaking. The South Korea. Still a supernatural being caused the second defeat that showed how the supernaturals caused more harm than support. Anubis. Wretched man, repeat what I dare you, said the Egyptian, and white and intimidating. The Mexico. Enough, you bastards, don't you see, we're still at war, it's not the time to fight each other, we have to be united, why are we fighting now that we lost? I know that fear increases, but the kids have shown us that they are capable, and it hurts me to see that we lost, and all we want to do is blame each other, but when we win, everyone celebrates, so let's stop blaming. The Francia. Well, changing the subject, what will happen with the Securite? Surzich. Now he will be demoted to a servant of the Grimory family, since he is no longer my sister's servant. In addition, the Maya Beelzebub and the leader of the fallen angels Azazel will begin a process to extract his sacred gear, the redeed said seriously. The Chile. Well, does anyone know how the gamers are doing? In Kuoh, Japan. At the gamers' home, the atmosphere was sad and depressive because of the defeat and because Gustav and Gil were hurt by their battle. On one hand, Gil had multiple wounds on his arms and legs but could move, but with the help of a collie, and on the other hand, Gustav had 2 broken ribs by Bison's attack and had to rest while being cared for by Tifa and Sona, but the worrying thing was the brown-haired boy who since the defeat had not left his room, where his screams of anger and tears of frustration could be heard while Ari and Samus were sad to hear him like that. Gustav. Sona Issei has already left her room, he said, lying on his bed looking at the blue-haired girl who only shook her head. In the room. Akali. Ari, Samus, calm down, you'll see that Issei will soon leave his room, don't worry, said the brunette comforting the girls who only hugged her with sadness. Thoka. It's sad to see the girls like this, but I know they'll recover soon, said the purple-haired girl watching the scene with a blonde. Serena. Yes, but you have to. I don't finish because the TV is on. Are you ready? Girls in action. In the living room of the house there was a silence since the hooded man had made an appearance, starting the next battle, the first since the defeat. Hooded. Be ready because the battle begins, he said, ending the transmission. Serena. Damn, we have no other choice, we must take action, said the blonde with determination. Toka. Okay, we have to do it, she said with enthusiasm. Gustav. I'm glad you're ready, said the black-haired man who was in front of them with the help of his loved ones. Serena. Gustav, what are you doing up? She said worriedly. Gustav. What I do is wish my classmates and friends luck, so go and show the power of girls, he said, raising his thumb with a big smile. Serena. Toka. We will do it, they both said, leaving towards where the helicopter was. Already in the helicopter. Winston. Well, the information we have is that 2 race tracks emerged, one in Machu Picchu, Peru, and the other in space, to be more specific about the Bio region in Chile. In the gamer mansion. Gustav and Gil, in the company of their girls and those of Issei along with Kirby and Poro, watched the television where the reporter was showing the situation. Reporter 1. Hello to all viewers, I am in Machu Picchu, Peru, where a strange race track was formed and we are waiting for the gamer who will face this threat, and now we will go with my partner. Reporter 2. Hello, as my colleague informed you, here in the Bio region in Chile, a strange race track was formed in the shape of a rainbow. Back to the mansion. Bill. The track in Chile is the rainbow path from Mario Kart Deluxe, he said while looking at the TV. Gustav. That's right, and the one in Machu Picchu is Papu's Pyramid from Crash Team Racing, he said seriously without looking away. The girls arrived in the different battle zones. In Peru. Serena. Okay, so I'll play a game of Crash, it will be fun, she said, entering the track area. In Chile. The purple-haired girl climbed up to the battle zone. Toka. I never thought I would play Mario Kart in real life, she said with a big smile while getting on a motorcycle. At that time, 11 characters from the Nintendo world appeared around her, including Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Link, Peach, Bowser, etc. Toka. This will be difficult, said while a tin being with a cloud brought a traffic light that began to blink. After a few seconds the lights turned green and the race began. Toka. Let's see how difficult they are, she said, accelerating and placing herself in second position behind Link. This is how the first round went by, and when the second round started, all the characters began throwing different objects like banana bombs and red shells, sending the purple-haired girl to last place. Toka. This is not right, I have to win, the boys believe in me, I can't let them down, she said nervously when she saw that she was about to start the last lap. At that moment an intercom that was in one ear was activated. Bill. Come on Toka, you can do it. You're the best Mario Kart player we've ever met, said the boy from the other side. Toka. Gil tried to answer, but couldn't because at that moment someone interrupted her. Gustav. Come on, I know you can, don't get upset and concentrate so you can get the victory, said the black-haired man now. Toka. Guys, thank you. I won't let you down. She said, letting out a tear. At that moment he began to accelerate, taking 2 boxes that gave him triple shells and a blue shell. Toka. Perfect, this changes things, she said with a smile. At that moment he approached the closest ones and attacked them with the red shells, moving from place 12 to 9. Toka. Well, I'll keep the blue one, she said more calmly. So the girl began a section of the track taking ramps and propellers to be able to snatch and reach 5th place. Toka. Perfect, said the girl who had taken a box and had gotten a star happily. At that moment he threw the blue shell and activated the star, having an extra acceleration that helped him get to 2nd place, and a few meters away the shell hit Luigi, who was in 1st place and was taken advantage of by Toka, who took the 1st position and crossed the finish line, winning the race. Toka. I did it. I won, screams jumping with excitement. Now in Peru. The blonde got into a car and like her friend, different characters appeared, but these were from the Crash Bandicoot saga. Serena. Come on, I'll show you what I can do, said the blonde with excitement. At that moment some lights appeared and at the end a green one was activated, starting the race. As soon as the race started, a war began against the blonde who received different attacks from her opponents, such as missiles, explosive boxes, bombs, etc. Serena. I'm not going to lose no matter what, I'm in last place, I'll make it, she said, accelerating and taking boxes of peaches to increase the strength of her attacks, starting the last lap where she used a blue protective bubble apart from the Aku Aku Guardian, thus sending her rivals flying. Taking the last curve the girl threw her bubble in front of N Cortex, taking him off the track and taking the 1st position. Serena. There's not much left, she said, taking the final path towards the goal. At that moment the blonde crossed the finish line, giving victory to the humans. Serena. I did it, yes I did it, she said very excitedly. At the gamer mansion. Bill. We did it, they are fantastic, he said celebrating. Gustav. Yes, I'm really very proud of them, he said happily. In the chestnut room. Issei. Well done, girls. Depression. We find ourselves on different battlefronts where the girls achieved victory in racing video games. The Bio region, Chile. Our purple-haired girl was celebrating when suddenly the light became present and then she could see a small creature with a kind of mushroom on its head. Toka. Wow, I have my own toad, but a female version, said the purple-haired girl, looking at the little creature that belongs to the Mario games. Machu Picchu, Peru. Our dear blonde was jumping for joy until, like the purple-haired girl, she saw the light that her prize, a tiger cub, would leave behind. Serena. Oh, how beautiful I have Pura, she said, caressing the tiger that let her have it without any problems. So the confidence in the group of gamers after their last defeat. After a few hours the girls had arrived home greeted by the boys except Issei and the members of their harem and Poro, who quickly had a staring duel with Pura that was stopped by Toad. Bill. Congratulations girls, you were amazing, said the boy with a smile. Tifa. It's true, especially your Toka, who rose from last to first place, and even more so using that blue shell, said the brown-haired girl from Final Fantasy. Toka. I didn't do much, and it wouldn't have been worth anything if Serena hadn't won, she said with a little blush. Serena. We don't have to pay attention to that, the important thing is that we won, she said with enthusiasm. Ari. It's true, but even with a victory, it doesn't seem to have any influence on Issei, said the Nekomata sadly because her beloved showed no signs of leaving. Gustav. Don't worry, you just have to give it time, he said with a smile and relaxed. Samus. Do you really think it's for the best? Said the blonde, distressed. Gustav. Yes, you see, Issei and I have known each other for many years. In fact, we were the ones who created the team, and I understand what he is going through, since he felt guilty if he was the cause of the defeat in a game, and now that he caused the loss of the second life, his guilt is eating away at him, he said calmly, but with a nostalgic tone. Change of scene. Underworld. We find ourselves in a kind of dungeon where we can still see a boy chained and with a strange artifact on his left arm. Gerard. Drake, give me your power so I can get out of here, said the boy very tired looking at his arm. Drake. Ha 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 ha, sorry, were you serious? Ha 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 ha, the dragon laughed, causing anger in its bear. Gerard. Damn lizard, why are you laughing? He said furiously because the dragon wouldn't stop laughing. Drake. Ha ha, easy, what happens is that I heard the Mao Lucifer say that they will extract me from you and look for a carrier, or in any case I will choose one, he said seriously from the booster gear. Gerard. What we must prevent that, he said desperately. Drake. You don't understand, right? That's what I want, he said in a colder way, leaving the boy in shock. Gerard. What are you talking about? He said, coming out of shock. Drake. Easy, you are the worst carrier I have ever had, and I can't wait for you to stop being one, and I already have a person worthy of being my carrier, he said calmly. Gerard, who is it? The boy shouted furiously. Drake. Hi, do I see? Back to the gamer mansion. So everyone went to sleep and the days passed, but Issei did not leave his room, and the nerves of the next fight increased, and the black-haired boy decided to comfort his friend. Talk talk. Acme brand sound effects. Issei. Ari, I already told you that I don't want to talk to anyone, said the brown-haired boy from his room with a dull tone. After the answer and without saying anything, the black-haired man entered the room and looked still brown-haired in a deplorable state and with a lost look. Issei. What do you want, Gustav? The brown-haired boy spoke in a dull tone. Gustav. That's what I want, easy, I want to know when you're going to be like this, said the black-haired man a little annoyed. Issei. I don't know what you're talking about, he said without changing his tone of voice. Gustav. Enough, Issei, stop that damn shitty attitude, he said bursting into fury. Issei. It's easy for you, you did it, you weren't the one who was in charge of the defeat and it cost one of the lives we have, he said angrily facing the black-haired man. Gustav. Issei, enough, you know very well that it wasn't like that, he said angrily at the brown-haired boy's words. Issei. No, it was my fault. If I had acted quickly, we wouldn't have lost, he said, lowering his head. Gustav. Leave that aside, the boys are worried about you, the girls who love you suffer seeing you like this, he said with more anger, hitting the brown-haired boy. Issei. Enough, leave me alone, he said sadly, but before another the television turned on implying that another battle was approaching. Greetings humans and supernaturals, I hope you are ready because this is one of the most difficult battles you will have. See you later. At that moment the black-haired boy looked at the brown-haired boy who only covered himself with a pillow. Gustav. You are no longer even a shadow of the gamer you used to be. The great battle. We find ourselves in the gamer mansion where everyone was put on alert after the hooded man's call, leaving an image of the battlefield on the screen with a small text. Text 2 people may use it. Gustav. Damn, it can't be, it's the Cell fighting arena, he said, seeing a square platform with strange pillars in the corners. At that moment the rest of the gamers ran into the room. Bill. Gustav, the next fight is a Dragon Ball game, who will go, he said nervously. Gustav. I don't know, he said looking away. Winston. What do you mean you don't know? Said the commander, who appeared out of nowhere. Gustav. You see, what happens is that the video game is Dragon Ball, and the only ones who have played it are Issei and I, but he is not in a condition to play, he said, while looking at his friend who did not seem to care about the situation. Winston. Haidu, as an order, I demand that you get up and get ready for combat right now, the man said angrily. Issei just looked at him and lay back down. Gustav. There's no time, I'll go, he said, shocking everyone, but especially his girls. Tifa. Don't do it, Gustav, you could die, she said, starting to shed tears next to a blue-haired girl, and they both hugged the black-haired boy tightly. Gustav. There is no other option, calm down, I will win, he said, caressing both of their heads. Winston. Let's go, he said, leaving the place with the black-haired man. At that moment everyone went to the living room except the brown-haired boy to watch the battle. Already in the helicopter. Gustav. Where the sand appeared, he said looking at the commander. Winston. It appeared in Fukushima here in Japan, he said seriously. So the helicopter arrived at its destination, leaving the black-haired man in front of the platform where a box appeared where he had to choose a character. Gustav. Fine, I'll choose Vegeta, said the boy, and at that moment his clothes were changed to Vegeta's suit from the Majin Buu saga. And before he could do anything, two beings caught his attention. Well, just a piece of garbage came, this will be extremely easy, said a green humanoid being with wings. You're right, if these useless people wanted to lose quickly they would have just given up, said the other being who was shorter than the other with white skin with purple details and a tail. Gustav. Damn, I'll face Cell and Freezer, he said surprised and a little scared looking at both of them. Cell. What's wrong? Don't tell me you're scared, he said mockingly, looking at how nervous the black-haired boy was. Gustav. No, that's not what happens, it's just that none of the rivals we've had have spoken, he said, trying to calm down a bit. Freezer. That's easy, we come from a series known as Anime, and we have our own voice, said the Freezer without much importance. Gustav. Well, I'm done talking, let's start, he said, getting into battle position. Cell. Well then Frieza starts here, he said moving away. Freezer. As you wish, he said facing the black-haired man. At that moment a countdown began. 030201 of. After what was said, the black-haired man shot out at Freezer, beginning an exchange of blows at high speed. On one occasion, Frieza managed to get away and rise into the skies. Gustav. Damn you, come here, he said annoyed. Freezer. Oh, the little one doesn't know how to fly, he said mockingly. Due to the mockery, the black-haired man released his Kai and began to rise into the air. Gustav. Now you'll see, he said as he shot towards the Freezer, it's good that in the series they explained how you could fly, the black-haired man thought as he approached Freezer. So both resumed their exchange of blows in the air. At one point, Frieza managed to grab Gustav by the neck and launched a Kai blast at his face, sending him to the ground. Gustav. Damn, this is going bad, he said looking at his hand where his life indicator had 3 stripes and he had already lost the green one and Frieza was halfway through his. Freezer. Come on, aren't you supposed to be part of the elite that would defeat us? You're just a bunch of losers. He said in a haughty tone. Gustav. No, you don't dare insult my friends, he said, releasing a beastly amount of Kai, turning his hair golden. At the gamer mansion. Bill. I can't believe it, Gustav became a Super Saiyan, he said in shock upon seeing his friend with blonde hair. Serena Toka. It's cute, they said with a blush, causing annoyance to 2 girls who were also blushing. In the underworld where a meeting of factions was taking place to watch the battle. Surzich. The power that emanates is terrifying, he said looking at the fight. Michael. That's right, I never imagined there were beings with so much power, he said surprised. Zeus. That doesn't matter, what matters is that I managed to defeat them, said the serious Olympian. Back to the battlefield. Gustav. Let's play, he said with a smile moving at high speed. Thus he began to beat up Frieza, managing to lower his life to half of the yellow bar. Gustav. Prepare to receive your end, he couldn't finish because Cell appeared at his side delivering a kick sending him far away. Cell. You shouldn't declare victory so quickly, he said without showing any emotion. Gustav. You damned wretch will pay for this, he said, launching himself at him and managing to land a few blows on the android. Cell. Not bad, what do you think if we raise the level? He said expelling his Kai and throwing himself at him. Gustav. I think the same, he said while imitating Cell's actions. So both began a new exchange of blows, but this time in a more brutal way. At one point Gustav took the opportunity to position himself below Cell and launch his attack. Gustav. Get ready Gala Cannon, he said, launching a wave of energy seen from his hands connecting with Cell. Just imagine that instead of the Kamehameha it is the Gala Cannon. Before he could continue, a powerful blow from Frieza hit his arm, breaking it. But or less so. Bustava, the boy screamed in pain, holding his arm. And before he could recover, Frieza grabbed him with his tail and began hitting his back while choking him. The boy's screams could be heard on all the screens, making many feel helpless, especially when Cell appeared and grabbed him, beginning to slam him against the ground several times. At the gamer mansion. Tifa. Please sniff, leave her sniff, someone help her sniff, said the brunette, crying, tightly hugging the blue-haired girl. Bill. Damn, if only we could help him, she said, shedding tears and clenching her fists with rage and helplessness, just like her friends. In the chestnut tree room. Issei. Gustav. Flashback. Issei. Really, you're from England, said a younger brown-haired boy talking via chat with his friend. Gustav. That's right, but I never imagined I would find a Japanese friend, he said happily. Issei. Well, let's play Call of Duty, best friend, he said with emotion. Gustav. That's right, my friend, let's go and hope we don't get any noob companions like last time, he said, equally excited. Then flashback. Issei. My best friend, he said while a tear came out of his eye and he took out a paper with a strange symbol and made it shine. When the symbol on the paper was activated, the most beautiful seraph of all appeared. Gabriel. Hey Issei, why do you need me? She said, confused. Issei. Gabriel, I need a favor. In England. The Gusts, no curse, said the man with fury and pain as he saw his son being literally massacred. Gustav. My baby is not sniffing, please someone help him sniff, said the woman, crying in front of her daughter, who did not seem to care about the situation. Back to the battlefield. Both villains were hitting each other until a blow sent him flying to the ground and Cell grabbed him by the head. Cell. You're just a loser, you're not that big of a. I didn't continue because a brown-haired boy appeared and connected with a punch, sending him far away. Freezer. What do you want? I didn't continue because Issei connected a blow to him. Gustav, the first Issei, he said weakly. Issei. Calm down, take this, he said, giving him a hermit seed. Gustav ate the seed and recovered and looked at Issei. Gustav. Issei, I have recovered physically, but my life is about to end and I don't want to leave all the work to you, he said, looking at the brown-haired boy in a serious manner. Issei. Well, we'll use this, he said, throwing an artifact at him. Gustav. Patara. Recovering the spirit and a new warrior emerges. We find ourselves in the battle against the Dragon Ball characters where Gustav was vilely massacred by Cell and Freezer but was saved by Issei, who appeared in battle. Gustav. Patara, you want us to merge, said the boy, surprised by his friend's idea. Issei. That's it, let's not waste time, he said, putting on his Patara. Gustav. You're crazy, he said, putting on his Patara. At that moment both clays lit up and attracted both boys towards each other, creating an explosion of light. Cell. Who came out of the rubble with Freezer? What the hell is that? He said, surprised. I am the warrior who will take care of their destruction, said a voice different from that of the boys. At that moment the created light disappeared, revealing a being with dark brown hair and spiky hair, wearing a clothing combination similar to that of the boys. Freezer. Who the hell are you? The alien shouted furiously. I am the fusion of Gustav and Issei. I am Issei, said the boy, now identified, clenching his fist with great confidence. Reporter. This is incredible, our fighters have united into a single being, the woman shouted euphorically at what she had witnessed. At the gamer mansion. Bill. This is, he said in shock. Serena Toka. Amazing, they both concluded, coming out of shock. Ari Tifa. Come on Issei, Gustav, you can do it, the girl said euphorically, backed by Samus and Sona. Back to the battlefield. Issei. Come on, what's happening? Don't tell me you're afraid of me, said the fusion mockingly. Freezer. Damn you, I won't let you make fun of us, he said, furiously launching into the attack. At that moment Frieza began to throw punches that were easily stopped by Issei's knees. Freezer. Madame Kuoh, how dare you make fun of me, he said furiously and tired. Issei. Oh, you're telling me you were trying hard because I wasn't, he said mockingly, bothering the Freezer. Freezer. Damn you, how dare you play with the great Emperor Freezer, you will pay, I speak furiously. Issei. Okay, I'll take it seriously, he said calmly. And that he quickly disappeared from everyone's sight, appearing just a few centimeters from Freezer, and began to connect strong blows on the Martian, and with his hand sending him far away. At that moment Cell appeared in front of the fusion trying to connect with an attack, but before he could launch it, Issei threw him away with a kick. Issei. What were you trying to do? He said, standing in front of the android. Cell. Boo, but how did you do that, he said, completely scared. Gustav. Let me think, I did it like this, he said, moving at high speed, connecting multiple hits to Cell. After beating up both villains, the fusion found itself looking at both of them who were on the ground, extremely injured, making the decision to get down. Issei. You know something, this got really boring, your life indicators are at the limits, and the truth is I don't need to keep wasting my time with you, he said, expelling his Kai transforming into Super Saiyan. Freezer. We will not be defeated so easily, he said angrily. Cell. We will not be humiliated by races as weak as those that exist here, he said while he and Frieza released their Kai. Issei. How sad that they don't understand that it's over. Final Kamehameha, said the fusion, launching a powerful attack against the two. The attack was colossal, leaving only pole and rubble in its wake and no trace of Frieza or Cell. You win, said the hooded man, while the boys' victory was celebrated everywhere. After what was said, the merger began to shine and separate into the boys that formed it. Both showed unique qualities, one showing courage and determination by coming alone and the other showing cunning to obtain artifacts that would help in his victory, and for that he will have 3 rewards, he said, surprising the boys. Bust of Issei. Damn, what a deal, they both thought. First they will have the techniques of their characters and the power to fly, he said calmly. Bust of Issei. Amazing, they shouted excitedly. Well, the other two will see it now, he said as he disappeared. At that moment 2 lights appeared in front of each of the boys. In front of Gustav appeared a brunette woman in a doctor's coat and a blue-haired woman in a red suit, while in front of Issei appeared a blonde woman in a denim suit and a pink-skinned girl. Issei. Wow, I can't believe I have one of the most desired waifus as number 18 and also the cute Kaioshin of Time Chrono, he said with emotion looking at both of them. Gustav. You think so? I have 2 of the hexiest villains in the Dragon Ball universe, Towa and Android 21, he said, watching as they both blushed at the black-haired man's comment. Winston. Gentlemen, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's time to get back, he said seriously as he gave the order for the helicopter to descend. Issei. No need, we'll just fly, he said while looking at Gustav, who just nodded. At that moment the 6 of them took flight, followed by the helicopter. So both boys and their companions arrived at the mansion where they were received by their girls, where Gustav was not received in a very affectionate way. Tifa. Fool, you don't know how much we suffered for you, said the brunette with pain, while giving small blows to the chest of the black-haired boy, along with a blue-haired girl. Number 21. Hey, you two, take your hands off my man, said the other brunette with annoyance. Tifa. Sorry, he's our man, so take your place in line, she said as she stood up. At that moment the atmosphere became tense because there was a clash of glances between Android 21 and Tifa, along with Sona and Towa, and to add fuel to the fire, Ari was staring at number 18 and Samus with Chrono. Akali. You 4 calm down, she said looking at Ari and the rest, and you are welcome, although you have to learn to share it, she said calmly entering the room with a bowl of ramen. Gustav. Thank you, Akali, he said standing up next to Issei. Issei. Well, I think you understand how things are, so there are no problems, he said, looking at all the girls who just nodded. Gustav. By the way, Issei, he said with a smile, connecting a blow, making him fly a few meters. Issei. And that's why it was, he said standing up. Gustav. For letting them beat me up, she said angrily. Issei. I think I deserved it, he said standing in front of the black-haired man waiting for his blow. Gustav. Come on, I'm not going to hit you. In fact, I'm glad that the team is together again, he said with a smile, putting his hand on his shoulder. Issei. Thanks, friend. We will be the best. 2 weeks had passed since the last battle, and the end of the year was approaching. We found ourselves in the gamer mansion where everyone was in peace, where Gustav and Issei's new girls got used to sharing and sleeping with them. Now everyone was gathered in the room talking about different things. No. 21. So you abandoned your parents and your home, said the brunette in astonishment, as did the rest of the harem companions upon learning about her lover's past. Gustav. That's how it is for them, I am the shame of the family, he said a little sadly, remembering the mistreatment by his family. Towa. They deserve to be exterminated, said the blue skin angrily. Issei. Don't do anything since you can see that Gustav no longer cares about that family, he said calmly, looking sideways at his friend. At that moment the television changed from the signal they were watching to focus on the hooded man. Hello everyone, I hope you are prepared because this battle will require 5 warriors and their strategic ability to win, he said without any emotion. Serena. We'll be ready, right guys? She said, raising her fist decisively. The gamers. Yes, they said with excitement. You have 4 hours, good luck. 2 hours later. Winston. Guys, in different areas of the world, there have appeared extensions of land that do not belong to the continents. Can you tell me what game this is about? He said, showing images of the new areas. Thoka. Those are the Pokemon regions, she said putting her hands to her mouth. Serena. It's true, it's time to be Pokemon master, she said enthusiastically. Most gamers were celebrating the new game, except for one Gustav. Winston. Something's wrong Gustav, he said worriedly looking at the black-haired man. Issei. Yes Gustav, are you okay, he said confused as everyone looked at him. Gustav. Well, I don't remember much about how to play Pokemon, he said sadly. After what was said, everyone fell in I'm style. Serena. That's not a problem, the way things are, the battles will be like the anime, she said normally, calming the black-haired man's nerves. Winston. Well, if the problems are there, it's time to leave, he said calmly. Bill. Wait, where are we going to go? He said, making the others see reason. Winston. There is one by the name of the zones. Issei. Kanto, Hone, Sinnoh, Unova and Kalos, he said, giving the name of the images. Winston. Well, Kantos is near Madagascar, Hone is in the Pacific, Sinnoh is above Ireland, Unova is near Puerto Rico, and Kalos is between China and Japan. He said as if it were nothing. Issei. Well, where do you want to go? He said looking at his friends. Serena. I want to go to Unova, she said with a smile, while the others nodded. Bill. I would like to go to Kalos, he said calmly. Gustav. Sinnoh is north of Ireland, none of you will withstand the climate, only me, he said calmly, while the others nodded. Toka. I would like to go to Hone, she said a little embarrassed. Issei. Then I'll go to Kanto, great, I'll be able to see a Charizard, the brown-haired boy said and thought happily. After that everyone left in helicopters, saving Gustav and Issei who flew away. Halo's region. Our purple-haired friend was standing in front of the high command, where before starting a screen appeared to choose his Pokemons, only he could only choose 5, because a Master Ball appeared in his hand. Bill. Well, if you give me 5 to choose from, then here is a Pokemon, okay let's go, he said calmly, while looking at the Pokemon he could choose from. In a matter of 3 minutes the boy chose his team. Bill. Well, I have Greninja, Talonflam, Trevenant, Sylveon, Aegislash and the Master Ball Pokemon, so I'm ready, he said enthusiastically, and at that moment the door opened. After that the boy began to climb some strange steps until he came across the high command of the region, but they only bowed and let him through, thus entering through the door meeting a woman in a white suit who looked like an actress. Bill. Diantha. Diantha. Wow, so you know me, I feel flattered, so I would like to know your name, she said calmly and elegantly. Bill. My name is Guillermo, he said politely. Diantha. Nice to meet you. Let's get started, she said throwing a Pokeball. This is how the fight started first. Galucha vs Aegislash. Aegislash won with 3 hits. Aurorus vs Aegislash. Gaino Aurorus con 2 gulps. Aurorus vs Trevenant. Gaino Aurorus with 6 hits. Aurorus vs Sylveon. Gaino Sylveon con 3 gulps. Urjeets vs Sylveon. Gaino Sylveon con 3 gulps. Tyrantrum vs Sylveon. Sylveon won with 5 hits with great difficulty. Gardevoir vs Sylveon. Gaino Gardevoir con 2 gulps. Gardevoir vs Talonflam. Gardevoir won with 4 hits. Gardevoir vs Greninja. Empate. Diantha. I must admit that you are extraordinary, but this ends here, come out Xerneas, she said, throwing her last Pokeball from which a kind of blue tear came out. Bill. Damn, it's a legendary, but it doesn't matter, I have to defeat it, no matter what, he said, while throwing the Master Ball. In doing so, she released a flying red being. Bill. Why Velta, he said surprised while looking at his last Pokemon. Diantha. Well, let's start, she said enthusiastically. After saying this, the battle began where both legendaries began to exchange attacks. Bill. This will end Velta, let's go with everything, he said, while a large ball of energy was generated from Velta's wings. Diantha. I agree, I'll finish this Xerneas, she said as the Pokemon's horns lit up. Moments later, an explosion occurred, creating a smokescreen that obstructed the visibility of both coaches. Bill. What's going on? He said trying to see something. Diantha. I don't know, she said in a distressed manner. After that the hair dispersed showing a Xerneas on the ground and a Velta that could barely stay standing. Diantha. Oh, it seems I lost, but it was a great duel, and I hope we meet again, she said with a big smile. Bill. Thank you, and I also hope to see you again. Unova region. Our smiling blonde girl reached the high command of her region. Serena. It's time to go, she couldn't continue because a selection screen and a Master Ball appeared in front of her. After his election. Serena. Well, I have the Pokemon inside the Master Ball along with Serperior, Crocodile, Haxorus, Emolga and Swanna, she said with a smile. After that he went through the same thing as Gil and arrived where a hairy man was standing in a strange suit. Murdo. Welcome, the great Murdo, and it's time for the battle by throwing a Pokeball. Thus the battle began. Buffalint vs Swanna. Buffalint won with 5 hits. Buffalint vs Crocodile. Gaino Crocodile con 4 gulps. Vanillux vs Crocodile. Crocodile won with 3 hits. Excavalier vs Crocodile. Draw because Crocodile was tired. Excelgra vs Emolga. Emolga wins with attraction. Dredigan vs Emolga. Dredigan won with 3 hits. Dredigan vs Haxorus. Draw. Murdo. Well, you have 2 left and I have 1 left, but come on Zekrom, he said looking at a dark creature. Serena. Oh my god, she said looking at the legendary. Zekrom vs Superior. Zekrom wins with 1 blow. Serena. Okay, I'm going to use the Master Ball, she said throwing it. A powerful dragon came out of the Pokeball. Serena. Wow, it's Kyurem, she said with emotion. Thus began the battle between the legendary dragons where lightning and explosions. Serena. Come on Kyurem, let's win, she said sending her Pokémon to attack. Murdo. I won't give up imitating the blonde's actions. After a powerful attack from both of them, Zekrom could be seen defeated and Kyurem extremely tired. Murdo. I accept my defeat and I recognize it, he said sitting on the floor. Sinnoh region. The black-haired man landed calmly in front of the building where his battle awaited him, but before entering he received a Master Ball and a selection screen where he chose his team. Gustav. My team is ready, the Master Ball team plus Infernape, Garchomp, Lopunny, Glaceon and Lucario. He followed the same route as his companions, where he met the High Command, who only gave him the right of way, and he reached an area where a blonde girl was waiting for him. Gustav. So I'll face Cynthia, he said looking at the girl. Cynthia. Oh, it seems that I am known to you, but I don't know you, so could you tell me your name, she said without flinching. Gustav. A pleasure, my name is Gustav, but let's leave formalities and start the battle, he said, while they both threw their Pokeballs. Spiritomb vs Glaceon. Gone as Spiritomb. Con 3 gulps. Spiritomb vs Lopunny. Lopunny won with 5 hits. Togekiss vs Lopunny. Togekiss won with 4 hits. Togekiss vs Lucario. Lucario won with 4 hits. Lucario vs Lucario. Draw. Melodic vs Infernape. A very difficult draw achieved by Infernape. Garchomp vs Garchomp. M8. Cynthia. Wow, I never imagined you'd be at my level, but with this you won't beat me, come out Palkia, she said taking the Pokémon out of space. Thus began the battle between 2 beings who should never have met. Gustav. Come on Dialga, show them how time surpasses space, he said Euphoria. Cynthia. Don't stay behind Palkia, she said enthusiastically. At that moment the rulers of space and time launched their best attacks. After that the two just looked at each other, but a few seconds later Palkia fell to the ground defeated. Gustav. I did it, I won, he said with great emotion. Cynthia. I admit it, you beat me, she said a little sad. Gustav. Thanks for the battle, said with a big smile. Cynthia. No thanks to you, she said with a slight blush. Home region. The purple-haired girl was left in the building where she got her Master Ball and her Pokémon selector. Toka. Ready, here is my team Sceptile, Bodifly, Gardevoir, Agron, Melodic and the Master Ball, so I'm ready, she said entering the place arriving against the Maximum regional champion. Maximo. Hello madam, I see that you have come to challenge me, he said calmly. Toka. So then let's not waste time and start, she said, throwing her Pokeball. Agron vs Agron. M8. Skarmory vs Sceptile. Gano Sceptile. Con 3 gulps. Claydol vs Sceptile. Claydol won with 4 hits with difficulty. Claydol vs Bodifly. Gano Claydol. Con 4 gulps. Claydol vs Melodic. Melodic won with 3 hits. Aerodactyl vs Melodic. Melodic won with 5 hits and difficulty. Metagross vs Melodic. Metagross won because Melodic was tired. Metagross vs Gardevoir. M8. Max. Let's finish this, Latios, he said releasing the flying Pokémon. Toka. I won't be left behind, she said using her Master Ball. From her came the female version of Latios, or Latias. Thus began an aerial battle where neither of them gave in, but at one point Latias landed a blow and then used Giga Impact against Latios, who was on the ground, and thus won. Toka. I did it, I won. Kanto region. Our favorite chestnut arrived at the High Command, but before entering he was teleported to Mount Silver. Issei. So it's my turn against you, he said taking the Master Ball, and began to select his team, which was Dragonite, Gyarados, Arcanine, Pikachu and Charizard. So he decided to climb to the abyss where he found the one and only Red. Red. Wow, so you arrived, he said with a big smile. Issei. That's right Red, and I came to defeat you, he said decisively. Red. Many have tried and none have succeeded, but do your best, he said calmly, starting the battle. Arcanine vs Snorlax. Gano Snorlax. Con 3 gulps. Gyarados vs Snorlax. Gyarados won with 6 hits. Gyarados vs Blastoise. Gano Blastoise. Con 4 gulps. Dragonite vs Blastoise. Gano Dragonite. Con 4 gulps. Dragonite vs Venusaur. Gano Dragonite. Con 3 gulps. Dragonite vs Pikachu. Pikachu won with 3 hits and Dragonite's exhaustion. Pikachu vs Pikachu. Draw. Charizard vs Charizard. M8. Red. You surprised me, but let's see what you do with a legendary, he said, taking out his last Pokemon, which was Articuno. Issei. Well, I'll use this one, he said, throwing his Master Ball. Something came out of the Master Ball that impacted both of them. Issei Mewtwo, he said in shock upon seeing the artificial Pokemon. But his surprise was greater when he heard Red. Red. I'm laughing. Note, I missed the Hone region. New Year's Eve special. We found ourselves on Mount Silver where our Chestnut was fighting against Red, but he had given up. Issei. Because he said, surprised by what the legendary trainer said. Red. Easy, I was waiting for a trainer who could create a bond with Mewtwo, and I see that he chose you, he said with a smile. Before he could continue, 4 rays of light appeared from which the other gamers emerged. Issei. Guys, how did it go? He said with intrigue. Gustav. We won, and how did it go for you? He said calmly. Issei. I won, but I couldn't continue because the girls screamed in surprise. Girls. It's Red, they said in unison. Issei. That's right, he was my rival, and you see he couldn't continue because Red began to shine. Ill. Red, what's wrong with you? He said, looking at the black-haired boy who was beginning to disappear. Red. Well, I was finally defeated and I can go with my family and friends, thank you, he said with a nostalgic smile. Gustav. You are not wrong, thank you for being our guide and reference in this great game, he said sincerely. At that moment Red vanished into small particles. Congratulations, you won, and your rewards will be on one hand, you will have your Pokemon team including your legendary, and on the other hand, the girls will have 2 new Pokemon, 1 legendary and 1 normal, and the boys 2 girls except. Gamers? Yes, they all said without hesitation. Well, see you. At that moment a Master Ball and a Pokeball appeared in front of the girls. Serena. Okay, let's go out, she said, throwing both Pokeballs from which Kyogre and Pachirisu came out. Serena. Wow, this is great, they will be good friends with each other and with Purah, she said, looking at them with stars in her eyes. Toka. Well, my turn, she said, imitating her friend's actions, only in her case Groudon and Togepi came out. Then in front of each of the boys, where 2 girls appeared in the case of Gil and Gustav, their opponents Diantha and Cynthia appeared. Cynthia. Young Gustav, we meet again, she said with a flirtatious smile. Diantha. Same here, Guillermo, she said without removing her smile. In the case of Issei, a brown-haired girl with a kind of a dangos and another girl with purple hair appeared. Issei. Wow, in my harem I have Lucamina and Nancy. Bill. Mine is the smallest, but Diantha and Valeria joined. Gustav. Well, I have Cynthia and Sabrina. So everyone was taken to their home where after introducing the new girls and introducing the Pokemon, they spent a quiet time until December 31st. Issei. Wow, today is the end of the year. I'm leaving with my parents. Come on, girls, he said, getting ready to leave. Serena. Me too, my uncles have come from Argentina, but Gustav, are you sure you don't want to come with us? No one has a problem, she said while everyone looked at the black-haired boy. Gustav. Calm down, guys, I'll spend the new year with my girls and the Pokemons since they are my new family, he said, looking at everyone blushing heavily. Bill. Well, if you change your mind, our parents' houses are nearby and you will be welcome, he said with a smile. Toka. That's right, she said with enthusiasm. Gustav. I'll think about it, well, see you, he said calmly. Already at night. All the gamers and people in the world had their food ready together with their families. And in the gamer mansion Gustav along with his harem and Pokemons were ready for the new year. Toa. Girls, it's 12:59 and 40 seconds, she said with emotion. Gustav. They are ready, he said calmly. Girls. Yes. In the different homes. Toka 5. Bill 4. Serena 3. Issei. 2. Gustav 1. All Happy New Year. Everyone was celebrating and hugging each other, receiving affection from each other, but the black-haired man's happiness was interrupted by a video call. Cynthia. Gustav, you have a video call on the living room screen, she said calmly. Gustav. I'm going. So the black-haired man looked at the screen and was surprised to see who the person who wanted to talk to him was. Gustav. Father, he said seriously. P. Gustav. Hello, Gustav, how are you? He said sadly. Gustav. Because you want to know, he said coldly. P. Gustav. Well, what happens is that during this time that I have spent without you, I have realized that you are someone who he did not continue because Gustav interrupted him. Gustav. Someone you humiliated, someone you scolded, someone who for you was a simple scum, the shame of your family, he said angrily, shedding tears without realizing it. P. Gustav. No, I realize that we are nothing without you, how many mistakes we made, and how much losing you affected us, and I just wanted to say Happy New Year, he said sadly cutting the call. Gustav. Happy New Year. Confrontation. December 27, 2018, location Underworld. Gerard. Who are you? Said the boy, seeing an old man with silver hair. Oh, where are my manners? My name is Rizavam Lucifer, said the man elegantly. Gerard. And to what do I owe your visit, Mr. Lucifer? Said the Red Emperor sarcastically. Rizavam. Well, that's easy, I came to free him from his prison and be able to seek revenge against that famous gamer. What was his name? I already remember him. Hi, do I see, he said with an evil smile. Gerard. And what do you ask in return, he said without any emotion. Rizavam. Nothing much, just help me take control of all the factions and the human world, he said with a confident smile. Gerard. Fine, I accept, haha. 15 January 2019. Location: Gamer Mansion. Issei was having a peaceful and quiet day with his Pokemons as all the girls decided to go shopping together, plus Gil went to talk to his parents and Gustav decided to take a walk to distract himself. Issei. I hope the others are like that, even though it's been a long time since the Pokemon game and they haven't attacked again, he said while lying in a hammock in the mansion's garden. But suddenly the wind started to blow harder and the Pokemon started to get upset. Issei. What happened? He couldn't finish because he saw a crimson sphere coming towards him, but he managed to dodge it. Gerard. Oh, it seems that the loser has skills for playing his silly little games, said the boy floating with his armor on. Issei. Gerard, but as you say, you were in prison and your booster gear would be taken away from you, he said with annoyance. Gerard. You see, they can't handle me, he said mockingly. At that moment he launched himself towards Issei, but before reaching him he was hit by a shadow ball from Mutuo. Issei. Mutuo, thanks, but leave it to me, he said seriously. At that moment Issei attacked Gerard, starting a fistfight where Issei had the advantage. Issei. Tell me how it feels to be humiliated by the same person you were making fun of, he said, landing a strong blow to the abdomen, breaking his armor. Issei. This is overcame. He couldn't continue because someone hit him from behind, sending him to the ground. You know I don't like taking care of you like a little child, said a person who was on top of the two. Gerard. I didn't need your help, Volley, he said agitatedly. Volley. Shut up, I don't like helping my rival either, he said with disgust, activating his balance breaker. At that moment they both began to beat Issei mercilessly. Gerard. Where are all those words and forces that you boast about, huh? He said this while launching a dragon shot against Issei. Volley. This is boring, I finished. I couldn't continue because there was an explosion behind them, sending them flying. Gustav. It seems like they are beating you up, Issei, said the black-haired man appearing where the explosion occurred. Issei. Hey Gustav, you took a little while, don't you think? He said mockingly as Gustav helped him up. Gustav. I think so, but how about we take care of those celestial lizards, he said calmly, releasing a little Kai. So the four of them faced each other and then began to exchange blows at high speed. In another part of the city. All the girls were walking around with their purchases until four girls stopped abruptly. Sabrina. Towa girls, what's going on, she said, confused like the others by that sudden stop. No. 18. Issei and Gustav suddenly released their Kai, said, surprising everyone. Luciman. But why, she said without understanding the situation. No. 21. We don't know, but there were also two strange energies next to them, he said it would be. Nancy. And what are we waiting for? We must go help them, she said while everyone nodded and left for the house. Back to battle. After a few exchanges of blows, the celestial dragons could be seen on the ground. Issei. I can't believe that they call themselves god killers, they are weak, he said with displeasure. Gustav. Now I can see that they are cowards who can only win when they catch their opponent at a disadvantage, he said calmly, looking at the two on the ground. Ollie. Damn, this is not over, he said angrily. Gerard. That's right, let's do it, he said annoyed. Ollie. Gerard. Juggernaut driver, they both shouted as they turned into some kind of dragons. Issei. Oh no, we should do something to stop them, he said, seeing how the two dragons saw them as snacks. Gustav. We don't have the earrings and we can't be SSJ, so what do you propose, he said seriously. Issei. How about the Metamori dance, he said looking at his friend. Gustav. You know we have no experience doing it and we only have one chance, he said without removing his serious face. Issei. Trust me, he said hopefully while the black-haired boy nodded. Taken, said the boy performing the blinding technique. Issei. Let's go, he said walking away with Gustav. Gustav. Ready, he said determinedly. Issei. Say. Gustav. Issei Fusi on ha, they said, taking some strange steps and then disappearing in a light. As it dissipated, a man with blonde hair could be seen. Let's finish this, said the fusion, calmly creating a sphere of energy in the palm of his hand. At that moment both dragons rushed to attack at the same time. Soul Punisher, he said, throwing the sphere at the dragons. At first the attack didn't seem to have any effect on either of them as they landed a hit on the fusion. Goodbye, Gerard said as if nothing happened. At that moment both dragons began to disappear in a heart-rending scream, leaving behind a kind of wings and a gauntlet. At that moment the girls appeared. "Serena. Who are you?" she said seriously. "Ah, hello girls." This me could not continue because a shine covered him, separating him. "Girls, it's you. Somewhere in space. So you can take the rest of their lives away from them, right? That's right, just let me go and I'll beat them. Let the duel begin. Location. Very soon Gustav, we will see each other again and you will pay for having abandoned me. Location: Underworld. Our gamers were in front of the faction leaders and a screen where the presidents of each country could be seen. "Gustav. And tell me, Issei, how the hell we ended up in the underworld," he said angrily. Issei. "Well, after we fused we explained things to the girls and to Gil, who arrived moments later, and when we finished Riaz and Sona Citri appeared, I explained what happened and after a few hours we were here," he said with a smile. He rep. Dominicana. "So why are we here, Mao Lucifer?" Surzich. "Well, you see, I have gathered here because Issei and Gustav defeated the carriers of the celestial dragons and became their carriers," he said calmly. He Peru. "And that doesn't explain much since they did it in self-defense and to protect people." Serafal. "Well, the reason is that Gerard was a member of the Gremory clan and that would make Issei part of that clan," he said it would be, while Riaz looked at Issei with a smile. The England. "And what about Gustav? He wouldn't belong to any clan, right?" Azazel. "It's true, but the news of the new bearers was leaked through all the factions and that caused everyone to want the hacker Yuku in their ranks, and an example is the demons who want you as a member of their clans, or like all the other factions want you, and that is through a marriage arrangement," he said without importance, while the black-haired man turned blue. The Israel hum. "I see the situation is very serious, but what do the boys think?" At that moment everyone turned their gaze to the two of them. Issei. "Boo, well, I wouldn't like to be part of an entourage since I want to continue being a human," he said, looking away while laughing. He got depressed about it. Surzich. "If that is your decision, you must hand over the booster gear since it belongs to the Gremory clan," he said seriously but sadly because he thought he already had a new son-in-law. Issei. "But they didn't say it was possible with a marriage arrangement," he said, surprising everyone. Thoka. "Issei, where are you going with this?" she said, raising an eyebrow. Issei. "Well, it's not obvious that I'll become Maria's fiancé," he said, surprising everyone and making a Redeed blush and be happy. "Bill Gustav the male," they both said in unison. Surzich. "And because you would like to get engaged to my sister," he said seriously but trying to control his happiness. Issei. "Boo, well, what happens is that since I met her I liked her, but I was realistic and understood that someone like her could never go out with a loser like me, but now that I have the booster gear, I noticed how all the men, or most of them including Gerard, looked at Riaz like a piece of meat or a lottery ticket, and I would like to have a chance to be with her," he said, a little blushing, while the Redeed began to cry. Riaz. "Yes, Sniff, yes, I want Sniff to be with you, and I don't care if you have other girls," she said, trying to calm down. Michael. "That clarifies the situation with the Securite, but what do you think, Gustav?" he said, looking at the black-haired man. Gustav. "Could you give me some time? I don't want to make a decision so quickly. It wasn't hard for Issei because he already knew Riaz, but I didn't, so I'm just asking for time," said the boy calmly. Anubis. "I think it will be for the best," he said without flinching. Isaka. "I think the same, we shouldn't force him to make a decision," he said it would be, while everyone nodded, but a purple-haired girl from Olympus didn't take her eyes off the black-haired boy. After that a couple of days passed where Issei was almost killed by his girls when they found out he was engaged to Riaz, but they calmed down when they found out that it was either that or having a bunch of hitches, as Riaz called them, chasing Issei, trying to seduce him. Now we saw the boys eating, but they were surprised by the static of a television. "Nice to meet you humans, I hope you are ready, your next battle is ready and it will be at Wembley Stadium." After the information was cut off, all the gamers got ready and left for England, leaving their girls and pets with the Gremory entourage. Location: Wembley Stadium, England. The boys were already on the stadium grass when they saw some strange boxes. Serena. "Guys, what do you think it is?" she said doubtfully. Bill. "I don't know, but we have to find out," he said as he, Gustav and Issei approached to open the boxes while the girls stood behind them. Upon opening the boxes, strange disc-shaped artifacts could be seen. Gustav. "Wow, these are the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual discs," he said it with excitement and slight nostalgia. Serena. "Great, I don't know how to play," she said depressed. Thoka. "Me neither, but Gustav, you seem excited," because the girl said with surprise in her voice. Gustav. "Yes, what happens is that was the first video game tournament that I won," he said without removing his smile. Issei. "Well, there are 3 discs, so the 3 of us will play accordingly," he said while taking a red disc. Bill. "Ha, first Pokemon and now Yu-Gi-Oh! This is great," he said, taking another yellow disc. Gustav. Let's do it, he said excitedly, taking the last blue disc. At that moment a screen appeared where it said deck selection. Issei. Well, I'll take the elemental heroes one, he said while placing a mallet on his disc. Bill. I choose the crystal beasts, he said calmly. Gustav. Perfect, then I'll use the cyber dragon deck, he said calmly. In the shadows. Wow, I'm not surprised that you chose the same cards you traded me with, said a furious voice. At that moment 3 shadows appeared. 3 beings. A green-haired woman, a masked man and a brown-haired boy. Gustav. So these are our opponents, she said confidently. Issei. You know them, he said curiously. Gustav. Yes, it's Marcel, Camilla and Night Vale, he said calmly. Marcel. Names don't matter in the duel, he said as the duel began. Gustav. Issei guild to the duel. Night Vale. Well, I'll go first and play baby red-eye black dragon, he said, taking out a mini black dragon. Night Vale. And that's not all, by sending it to the graveyard I can summon the red eyes black dragon, and I will place 2 cards face down, he said as the dragon appeared. Gustav. Well, I start and play the powerful union spell, and this allows me to unite machine-type monsters, and I have 3 in mind, my cyber dragons, he said, taking out 3 robotic dragons. Gustav. Unite and form the mighty cyber dragon final. Tragedy. Gustav. Join together and form the powerful cyber dragon final, said the boy summoning a 3-headed dragon. Camilla. Incredible 4,000 attack points, said the vampire surprised. Gustav. And that's not all, thanks to the powerful union, the attack points are doubled, giving a total of 8,000, he said calmly. Issei Gil. Amazing. Serena. I see why he won a tournament, she said, shocked by what she saw. Gustav. Now Cyber Dragon final attacks the Red Eyes Black Dragon with super strident wave, he said it with great confidence. The dragon attack was close to the other, but a voice spoke. Night Vale. Not so fast, revealed a trap attack denied, and this trap ends your dragon's attack, he said mockingly. Night Vale. Also, if I remember correctly, when it's your turn again, you'll receive damage equal to the original points of your monster, and in short, you lose, he said with great arrogance. Issei no. Bill. This is bad. Gustav. You think so? I play the diffusion spell card, and that returns my dragon to the 3 dragons that created it, and I place a card face down and end my turn, he said without flinching. Marcel. I go and play Dark Lord and end my turn. Bill. Perfect, my turn, and I play Amethyst Cat in defense mode and activate her special ability, and this makes it so that by reducing her attack points by half, she can attack you directly, he said while the beast ran against Marcel. Marcel. 300 points are nothing, he said, while his life indicator was at 3700. Bill. It doesn't matter, I put 2 cards face down and end my turn, he said with a smile. Camilla. It's my turn and I play the Vampire Lady, but she won't hesitate for long because I sacrifice her to summon the Vampire Lord, she said confidently. Camilla. Now my Vampire Lord attacks the Amethyst Cat. Gustav. Not so fast, I reveal my face down card attack reflector unit, and this allows me to sacrifice a Cyber Dragon to summon Cyber Dragon Protector, and its ability allows me to stop one of my opponent's attacks, he said, while the dragon stood in front of Amethyst Cat and stopped the Vampire Lord. Bill. Thanks friend, I owe you one, he said calmly. Gustav. Don't forget what friends are for, he said confidently. Camilla. My turn is over, she said with annoyance. Issei. Okay, it's my turn and I play polymerization and merge the elemental heroes Sparks and Clay to form the elemental hero Giant Thunder, he said with great fascination. Issei. And his special ability allows me to destroy a monster with points equal to or less than his, I can destroy it, and he will do it against a red-eyed black dragon, he said, while his monster launched the attack. At that moment the hero destroyed the red-eyed black dragon. Night Vale. I revealed my second face-down card, Shimmering Grave, and this allows me to bring a monster from my graveyard in defense mode, but the problem is that one of you must bring a monster from the graveyard in defense mode, so Red Eyes Black Dragon returns, he said calmly. Gustav. Guys, let me use that effect, he said looking at his friends who just nodded. Well, Cyber Dragon comes back. Issei. Well, continuing with my turn now, Giant Thunder attacks the Vampire Lord, he said enthusiastically, while lowering Camilla's life points, and my turn ends. Night Vale. Well, I take out and change my dragon to attack mode and sacrifice it to summon the Red Eyes Dark Dragon, he said calmly, summoning a larger beast. Now attack the Amethyst Cat. Gustav. I think it's my turn and I play Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 new cards from my deck, and I play one of them Photon Generator Unit, and by sacrificing 2 Cyber Dragons, I can summon Cyber Dragon Laser in attack mode. Gustav. and its special ability allows me to destroy a monster with attack points equal to or greater than that of Cyber Dragon Laser, and that you think Dark Dragon is in the crosshairs, he said. Well, the dragon destroyed the Dark One. This does not end Cyber Dragon Laser and Cyber Dragon attack. Directly at that moment, the Night Veil points dropped to 0. Night Veil began to fade into particles of light as people across all factions celebrated the first victory. That's not all, since the difference in attack points to their life points, since my two monsters add up to 4,500 and their points were 4,000, who will receive the remaining 500, he said seriously looking at the two. Telepathically, Camula, take them yourself. Camula. Okay, I'll take them, she said seriously. Perfect, but that's not all. See, Cyber Dragon Protector attacks Camula with a sonic scream, and my turn ends, he said. Well, the dragon subtracted 800 from the vampire. Perfect, on my next turn, I will use Monster Reborn, and with it, I will bring my final Cyber Dragon, and we will win the duel, the boy thought happily. Marcel. I play my alteration card. It's a special card since it can only be played in duels of more than 3 people, and it serves to modify the order of the participants. So the duel disc that lights up continues, he said without getting upset, while the discs began to flash, and in the end the one that lit up was Issei. Issei. I think it's me and I play with Giant Thunder, attacking Camula directly and ending her life points, he said. Well, his monster did what was ordered. At that moment things seemed perfect, there was only one left, but the discs began to flicker, and Marcel's turned on. Marcel. It's my turn and I play Infernal Pact. This card allows me to sacrifice my Dark Lord so I can summon my 3 sacred beasts, he said in a tone of victory. Issei, did he say that? Bill. Sacred beasts. Damn, we're in trouble. Marcel. Greet Raviel, Lord of Ghosts, Haman, Lord of Thunderclap, and Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, he said, summoning 3 colossal-sized monsters. Markdal. But that's not all, because I play the spell Dimension Fusion Destruction, and this allows me to withdraw the 3 sacred beasts, so I can summon Armadil, the Ghost of Chaos, he said, making a fearsome creature appear. Marcel. And the best part is that if I sacrifice it, I can cause 5,000 points of damage to an opponent, but in exchange I receive the same damage, but here I will choose, he said looking at the boys. Telepathically, choose that guy Gil, he'll be perfect. Marcel. I understand, I will do it, I will use it against Gil, he said worrying everyone. Bill. Damn, he said scared. Marcel. Don't worry, there is an option, and that is if you have or one of your companions has only 1 card in their hand, I can cancel it causing damage only to me, but only if that cast is a spell, he said, giving hope to everyone when he saw that Gustav met none of the requirements. Bill. Well done, what's your letter? He said hopefully. Gustav, it is it. He's lying, he's not a gamer, he hasn't fought in even half of the battles you've been in, he doesn't deserve it. Gustav. It's a trap, he said in a whisper. Marcel. Trap is useless, it's time for Armadil to do it, he said while self-destructing, and the explosion hit both of them. Bill. Ah. I see. No, Gilly. Gustav, no, Gilly. At that moment, Gil was only seen disappearing into particles of light like Marcel. You win, take your rewards. The hooded man couldn't continue because Issei interrupted him. Issei. We don't want anything, give us back our friend, he said with tears. Gustav. If you give us Gil back, he said with tears and pain in his eyes. I can't, a defeat is a defeat, if you don't want it, you'll have it, goodbye, he said, disappearing. At that moment the card in Gustav's hand fell showing the Monster Reborn. Serena. It was a spell, so you lied because she said slapping Gustav. Everyone on the planet heard what the blonde said while the other gamers looked on in shock. After that they were taken to their home where they were greeted by Gil's girls who almost killed Gustav. The collie. Damn, you should have died, not him, she said angrily as she began to cry with her friends and Pokemons, while the other gamer rewards looked at Gustav with fury and hatred, and the only thing he did was go lock himself in his room where all they could hear was him vomiting. Gustav. What happened to me? Who was that voice? He said trying to remember that voice. Location. You said you would win and you failed. Don't worry, my plan will work now, you'll see, ha 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 ha. In England. Gustav. Honey, what's up? She said, watching her husband move from computer to computer. Gustav. In Gustav's battle you could see a shadow, but that shadow seems familiar to me, said the man with frustration. I have it, he said, modifying the image although it was not blurred. Gustav. Impossible, Jubal. Confronting the past. P1. The day has passed since Gil's death, and people began a wave of insults and disgust against Gustav, who had not left his room. As for the rest, they were in the living room trying to assimilate the situation with their parents and Winston, but this was interrupted by someone knocking on the door. Knock. Issei. I'm coming. I really wish he couldn't continue when he saw a couple in front of him. Gustav. You must be Haidu, he said seriously. Issei. Mr. and Mrs. Westcott, what brings you here? He said a little seriously. Gustav. I have to talk to my son, it's urgent, he said a little worried. Issei. Okay, follow me, he said, starting to walk. So Issei led them to the room, but everyone else found them steps away from the room. Winston. Mr. and Mrs. Westcott, what brings you here? He said, surprised, remembering their last meeting. Before answering, one person anticipated. Gil. So you are the parents of the bastard who killed my son, the woman spoke with anger and pain in her words. Gustav. I do not allow you to insult my son, and there is a reason for what happened, she said angrily. Bakali. It's not true, he let him die, he should pay, she said angrily. Winston. Stop, I know how you feel, but I want to know what the reason was, he said, seriously, calming the situation a bit. At that moment they arrived at Gustav's room. Gustav. Hi son, I need to talk to you please, said the man through the door. Gustav. What do you want? Come and make fun of me, tell me that it's true that I'm trash, and that I don't deserve your last name. I don't continue because of my mother's voice. Gustav. Please stop, son. We didn't come here for that. We came here to support you, to fix our problems. I know what we did in the past, and you don't know how much I regret that, and in this difficult moment for you. That's why I came here to be with you. Your dad found the cause of what happened during the duel, said the woman with a broken voice and about to burst into tears. Gustav. And what is it? He said, opening the door while receiving the hateful looks of Gil's parents and girls. Gust Fitzhubel. Location unknown. Hubel, your supposed plan is ready. Hubel. That's right, it's time for Gustav to pay for what he did. Returning to the gamer mansion. Winston. Hubel, who is Hubel? He said, confused like the others. Gustav. Let's go to the room and we will explain everything to them. So everyone went to the living room where everyone was impatient for the answer. It must be said that Gustav's girls stood next to him trying to lift his spirits. Serena. Okay, now explain who Hubel is and why you say she was the reason for Gil's death. She said it would be. Gustav. During the battle I could see a strange silhouette and after several image effects I could see the image, it looks blurry, but that one is there, he said, showing the image. Gustav. This is Hubel, it's a card from the Yu-Gi-Oh game and this is her card, he said, showing his image, comparing it with the card. Winston. So that's the creature that caused Gil's death, he said seriously. Antha. But as if she had done something it would be out of the game and that would be cheating which would cause her automatic defeat, she said, surprising everyone. Gustav. Maybe, but what would happen if she had some kind of bond with a person, said the man, surprising those present even more. Gil. Explain, he said it would be. Gustav. You will see what is attacking us. It took the information from video games of all time, right? He said while everyone nodded. Well, maybe she created a bond with Gustav, he said, leaving everyone surprised once again. Issei. But how is that possible, he said, questioning the man. Gustav. The power of a child who loved his cards too much, he said, showing a warm smile to his son whom he had not seen for years. Gustav. You see, 12 years ago when Gustav was 6 years old, he saw a game that instantly fascinated him. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX for the Nintendo 3DS. On his birthday, we gave him a device that connected to the console that allowed him to scan cards from the game to have them in the video game. We also gave him a pack of cards that could be scanned, and the first card was Hubel, he said, leaving everyone amazed. Gustav. After that, Gustav didn't stop playing. Every week he used his allowance to buy more cards. We thought it would be a problem, but his academic performance and his responsibilities at home were fine, so we overlooked it, but something was wrong. Gustav told us that he won all the battles with Hubel, that she was his best card. That he adored her and that he would never get bored of her, the woman said with nostalgia in her voice, while the others looked at Gustav, who began to tremble, as if something bad was going to happen. Gustav. From that moment on, strange things happened. Gustav became a little lonely, playing alone, but he said that he didn't care about having friends, as long as he had Hubel. Also, when he was alone in his room, you could hear him talking, he said seriously, while everyone looked at him confused as if that was bad. Winston. But that's a bit normal, some children have imaginary friends, he said calmly. Gustav. Yes, it would be, but not if you hear another person's voice responding to what your son says. That was the climax. Everyone was in shock by what the woman said. Gustav. More than once we heard that voice, and when we entered we only found Gustav, and when we asked him who he was talking to, he replied, I'm talking to Hubel, he said, surprising those present, if possible. Gustav. We thought about taking him to a psychologist, but it was absurd. We heard that voice, she said, surprised, remembering everything. Thoka. And what happened, said the purple-haired girl while Gustav lowered his head. Gustav. A continental tournament was organized in England where the best would participate, and for days Gustav asked me to take him to participate, and when I took him he went to register but came back saying that he couldn't participate because Yubel couldn't be used. I told him to use another card or another deck that he knew, and that's what he did. The Cyber Dragon deck with which he humiliated all of his opponents and was crowned champion, but not everything was happiness, because after winning Gustav began to look for his Yubel card in his deck, but couldn't find it, he said, looking at how his son shook his head. Gustav. No, forgive me, Yubel, I didn't want to abandon you, no, says the black-haired man, starting to cry. Gustav. Calm down, it wasn't your fault, he said, hugging and comforting his little one. Gustav. After the incident where he lost Yubel, Gustav began to have nightmares where he would wake up screaming and crying, asking Yubel for forgiveness for losing her. That made us think about the psychologist again. But when we really made the decision to take him to the psychologist, one day he was about to throw himself out the window, but I managed to stop him, and I began to yell at him, asking why he tried to do that. He told me that Yubel would forgive him if he did it because they could be together forever, said the man with a sad look. Before anyone could speak the television turned on, but there was only static, but a voice began to be heard. Hello Gustav, I know that somewhere in the world you are listening to me and you know who I am, so I challenge you to a battle. The location will be at the Tokyo Tower. I'll wait for you, he said while cutting the transmission. Before anyone could say or do anything, Gustav ran off and then began to fly. Gustav Hiju. Such. On the Tokyo Tower you could see a hooded figure and two dueling discs, and at that moment Gustav arrived. Gustav. I'm here, Yubel, let's finish this, he said seriously, but this didn't faze the hooded man who only limited himself to pointing at one of the discs. Gustav. Well, if you want a duel, you'll have it, he said, putting the disc on and a mallet appeared. Well, I'm glad you weren't scared, he said, taking the disc and removing the hood. Gustav. Impossible, Gil said, surprised to see his friend, but with strange clothes. That's the clothes he's wearing. Gil. Surprised to the duel. Confronting the past P2. We are at the Tokyo Tower where Gustav accepted Yubel's challenge to a duel, but was in for a big surprise when he saw his friend Gil in front of him. Gustav. Gil, you are. Gil. You seem to be surprising, but you shouldn't be, or should you, he said with a mocking smile. At the gamer mansion. Gil. My son is alive, she said, starting to cry with her husband and Gil's girls. Issei. This is weird, he said seriously, drawing everyone's attention. Winston. Issei, what's wrong, he said while everyone looked at him. Issei. His gaze, said the brown-haired boy without taking his eyes off the screen. Bakali. I don't know what you're talking about, we have to go get him, she said while her companions nodded. Issei. He is not Gil, he has no emotions in his eyes, he said, surprising everyone. Back to the battlefield. I see you've come, so you accept the challenge, right? Said the hooded man appearing out of nowhere. Gustav. That's right, he said seriously. Perfect, but if you lose, you will lose both your lives, he said seriously. At that moment, everyone watching the fight, whether humans or supernatural beings, became upset because their world was on the edge of life or death, and their salvation was someone who had earned the hatred of the majority. Ring. Gustav's phone rang. Gustav, hello. Winston. Gustav, listen to me, don't do it, he said, startled and nervous. At that moment Gustav hung up the phone without answering. Gustav. I will do it, but if I win you give me back my friend, he said seriously. In the mansion. Winston. Damn, how can he do this? He said completely furious while everyone looked at the screen in fear. Back to battle. I accept, he said, disappearing. Bill. Gustav to the duel. Bill. I start and play the field spell Advanced Darkness and summon the advanced Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat and end my turn. Gustav. Well, I start by summoning Cyber Dragon in attack mode. Bill. Wait, I play the effect of my Amethyst Cat and by reducing its points by half I can jump to your dragon and attack you directly, so while walking, Amethyst Cat attacks. Gustav 4600 equals 3400. At that moment Gustav began to feel a great pain in his chest. Gustav. But what's going on? He said in pain. Bill. Surprised, perhaps you forgot about your illness, he said mockingly. Gustav. What? In the mansion. Gustav. Impossible, this can't be, she said scared. Issei. What's wrong? Why is Gustav like this? He said confused. Gustav was born with heart problems, he said, shocking everyone. Back to the battlefield. Gustav. I think I had forgotten about that, but now I understand the situation, don't you think so, Yubel? He said, recovering a little. Bill. What the hell are you talking about, he said seriously. Gustav. Don't be surprised, I know you're Yubel, since I never talked about my illness with my friends, he said, surprised, to everyone, especially to Yubel. Bill. Haha. Gustav. Fine, I place a card face down and end my turn. Bill. I take out and play Sapphire Pegasus in attack mode, and this allows me to summon a crystal beast in my spell zone, and I play Ruby Carbuncle, and now I play my M Strength spell, and that gives 500 points to one of my beasts, in this case Sapphire Pegasus, and now it attacks Cyber Dragon. Bust of. Not so fast. I play a Trap Attack Reflector unit, and by sacrificing my Cyber Dragon, I can summon Cyber Dragon Protector in defense mode. Bill. Well played. I place a card face down and end my turn. Bust of. Fine, but before continuing, why did you take my friend when you could have chosen me directly, or also Issei, but you didn't take Gil, because said the boy confused. Bill. Ha 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 ha, that's very easy for being weak, said Yubel from the purple-haired boy's body. Bust of. What are you talking about? He is not weak, he said angrily. Bill. No, he is weak and the sample is in his deck, just a powerful beast, it's ridiculous. Besides, he didn't attack you because he wanted to see you suffer and feel pain, and as for your other friend, it would be difficult to control because of that dragon inside him, but let's continue with the duel, do you want? She said confidently. Bust of. Okay, I draw and play Polymerization and merge my two Cyber Dragons to form Twin Cyber Dragon, and now attack his Sapphire Pegasus. Bill. Perfect, do it, but I play the effect of my spell card, and this allows me to discard a crystal beast to my graveyard, and the damage is nullified. Bust of. Fine, but I play the Cyber Twin Dragon ability, and this allows me to attack a second time. Now go and finish off his cat. Bill. And I repeat my Emerald Turtle play to the graveyard, and there is no damage. Bust of. It's not over yet, so I switch to Cyber Dragon Protector in attack mode, and destroy his Ruby. Bill. You don't learn, he discarded Amber Mammoth. Bust of. It doesn't matter, I play my diffusion spell, and I get back to my Cyber Dragons, and one of them attacks you directly. Bill. Ruled out another crystal beast Topaz Tiger. Bust of. Now you have no barriers. Now my second dragon attacks Shrill Wave. Bill. 1900. Bill. It was a good hit, but I have to thank you, he said while smiling. Bust of. Because, he said seriously. Bill. Because now all my crystal beasts are out of my deck, either on the field or in the graveyard, and that allows me to summon the Dark Rainbow Dragon, he said with great superiority. Bust of. Damn, this is bad, he said looking at the beast. Bill. Now Dark Rainbow Dragon attacks Cyber Dragon Protector. Bust of. Not so fast. I activate my dragon's ability that allows me to block an attack once per turn, as long as it is in attack mode. Bill. That would work, but when Rainbow Dragon is summoned and my field spell is activated, your dragon's ability is history, so it attacks. Bust of. Rainbow Dragon 4000 Protective Dragon 800 equals 3200. 3400, 3200 equals 200. Bust of. I can feel it, my heart is beating slower and slower, because why are you doing this, Yubel, he said frustrated and agitated. Bill. Why, you ask? Why? How the hell? Why you abandoned me? You promised to be the best of friends, that we were together, and what did you do? You abandoned me, you forgot me as if you didn't care. I even cured your illness, that's why you didn't feel any pain, but it wasn't enough. I was happy by your side, I thought you were happy by my side. I love you, Amba, he said while shedding tears. Bust of. I'm sorry, he said, lowering his head. Bill. A sorry won't do, you'll suffer for what you did to me. Bust of. Well, let's continue. I take out and play Photon Reflector unit, and that allows me to sacrifice my two Cyber Dragons to create Cyber Laser Dragon, and its ability allows me to destroy a monster with points equal to or greater than its own. Bill. Then with 4000 my dragon. Bust of. It's history. Now use Photon Whip. Bill. That was close, but thanks to Topaz Tiger's ability, when he is sent to the graveyard, I receive 2 crystals in my spells and traps zone, but when I send one of them, I protect my dragon. Bust of. TSK. I place one face down and end my turn. Bill. This is over, now the Rainbow Dragon attacks. Bust of. Not so fast. I revealed my trap hidden cyber technology. I can return my laser dragon to my deck, and by sending the card to the graveyard I can destroy your dragon. Bill. I use my other crystal to save my dragon, and I place a card face down, that's all. Bust of. The first take out and play Cyber Valley. Bill. If you don't have points, you've lost your mind. Bust of. Maybe, but he has 3 dangerous abilities, and I use the second one that allows me to take 2 cards when I sacrifice him, and I play one of them, Overcharged Fusion, and when I remove 5 dragons from play I can summon this. I remove my 3 Cyber Dragons to Cyber Barrier and Cyber Valley to bring Chimeritic Fortress Dragon, and if you think that because he has 0 points he is weak, forget it, his ability allows me to take away 400 points from you. Now Chimeritic attacks. First attack. 1900, 400 equals 1500. Gustav, and that's not all, you'll receive an attack for each dragon discarded, so continue. Second, attack 1500 400 equals 1100. Third attack. 1100 400 equals 700. Fourth attack. 700 400 equals 300. Fifth, attack 300 400 equals. Gustav. But what he said, looking at Gil as if nothing had happened. Bill, ha, funny, no, after your fourth attack I played my rainbow life trap and that allowed me to recover the points I had and get the damage points I received from your 4 attacks, meaning 1900 plus 1600 gives me a total of 3500, of course I lost 400 points due to your last attack. Bill, 3500 400 3100. Gustav. Well, I place a card face down. Bill. Rainbow Dragon, finish this. Gustav. This game doesn't end, I send Chimeritic to the graveyard and that allows me to bring back a monster with the ones it was created with, but it's given to me for every 1000 points of a monster on your field. Bill, that means that for my dragon you get 4. Gustav. That's right, say hello to my 3 cyber dragons and cyber valley, but it won't last long since I'll use its first ability and when I sacrifice it, I'll take a card and your turn will end. Bill. You're just postponing the inevitable. I place a card face down. Gustav. Maybe I'll take out and play Powerful Union, and this will unite my 3 cyber dragons to form Final Cyber Dragon, and since I used Powerful Union its points will double, now I'll finish it off using Super Strident Wave. Bill. Not so fast, I revealed my gem counter trap, and this allows me to attract crystal gems in each trap or spell zone, and thanks to the Rainbow Dragon's ability, when taking the gems out of the game, he receives 1000 points for each one, giving him a total of 9000. This is over and I win. Gustav. I'm not so sure, I play Cyber's Own, and this skips a turn where my Drago doubles his points giving him a total of 16,000. Bill. But if it's your turn again, the Powerful Union effect subtracts 4000 points from you. Gustav. You're right, but I revealed my last face down card, Nutrient Z, and this card is activated when my life points reach 0, giving me a bonus of 4000, meaning it remains at 200, and now Cyber Dragon Final, let's finish this. Yubel. It's not possible, no. Gustav. Yubel, I loved you too. At that moment Yubel was shocked by those words. Gustav. I think this is goodbye, he said wearily. Yubel. Wait, I can stay here, she said, trying to continue talking to Gustav. Gustav. You yes, but I don't, my heart is stopping, he said with a nostalgic look. Yubel. No, I don't, this can't be what I did, she said desperately. At that moment Gustav looked where there was a camera. Gustav. Guys, I know you hear me, and I just wanted to say thank you for being my friends and girls, I will always carry you in my heart. I forgot, Dad, Mom, forgave you. At that moment Gustav falls to the ground. Yubel. Gustav. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching, if you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day, bye.